Oops. Greetings, everyone. Hello, hello, and welcome. Guys, thank you for the hype train. A minute left of level 1 hype train when I wasn't even live. Let's fucking go. Let's go, chat. Woo! Thank you so much for hyping this girl up, hyping this channel up, this stream up when I wasn't even live. That's very impressive. Very impressive. I think Atomic, you started this hype train off the right way. Thank you so much, Atomic, for 14 months. 14 glorious months, Atomic. Thank you, thank you. Then we had Thornhorn. Hi, Thornhorn. Thank you for 6 months, Thorn. Thank you, thank you. And of course, Maple Marie. Setting us off into a hype train. She's very thoughtful like that. She pays attention. I think it's a girl thing. I really do. She notices the little details. Hi, Real Deal. Welcome in. Nice to see you, Real Deal. Guys, thank you so much for that hype train. That was great. I really appreciate it. So, welcome in, everyone. Swede! Oh, you just missed the hype train, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Swede, thank you for the bits. Welcome in, sweetheart. A certified sweetheart in the stream as well. Welcome in, Swede. Hi, Yuki. Welcome in. Okay, let's say our highs and our hellos in order of operations, like some bed mass situation over here. By the way, exclamation dad joke. We've got dad jokes in the house. So we've enabled that today. So let's test out some dad jokes if you guys get bored. I noticed you were already trying them out during the tailgate party while you were waiting for me to start stream. So hope you like the dad jokes, exclamation dad joke, for some dad joke situations. So we've got, I think Maple Marie, I think you were first, either that or One Prong or Hawker. One of you were. So thank you guys for being first. Hi, Ash Ketchum. Atomic, oh, you're second. Okay. Welcome in, Atomic. And also, thank you so much for 14 months. Atomic. Did I say hi to Hawker? I did. And Retro, hello. Welcome in, Retro. One Prong, yes. Whack-a-mole, hey, welcome in, Whack-a-mole. Nice to see you, Whack-a-mole. Thornhorn is here. Yukiko, welcome in, Yuki. King Kamal, hi, King Kamal. Andrelius, welcome in, Andrelius. Bochi's here, hello, Bochi. Real Deal, good evening, Real Deal. Ash is here as well, another Ash, not Ash Ketchum. Ashraf, welcome in, Ashraf. Monster, welcome in, Monster King. Nice to see you, Monster. With the certified artist badge in the stream. I have a dad joke. It would be apparent. Good one, Monster. Good one. Hi, Royal. Welcome in. Dad jokes. I sent my kids to school with 1 winter boot each. There was a 50% chance of a snow day today. Well, don't worry about that, Royal. We have dad jokes on deck. Exclamation dad jokes. You don't have to think of any. Siri bot has you covered with that. Hi, Beat. Welcome in. Nice to see you, Beat. Hope you've been well. My bionic Beat. Welcome in. Nice to see you. Okay. Liquid Malice. You spot a wild Anne? That's some rare shit. Is it shiny? Is it a shiny wild Anne, Liquid Malice? All right, let's get some music playing in the background. Okay. First of all, I wasn't live yesterday. It was my day off. Oh, Yuki, thank you so much for the gift sub. Let's go. That's my life. Don't you know the feeling? That's your price. That's your price. Well, all right. Okay, so Yuki, thank you so much for the gifted sub to Cam. Cam, you lucky mofo. You absolute lucky mofo. Okay. So yesterday I wasn't live. It was my day off, but I did put an announcement in the Discord that I was going to be a guest on Admiral Gibbs' stream. And it was a success. It was a great stream. I was a judge, and the topic yesterday on Admiral Gibbs stream, if you want to see the VOD is up on his channel. Can we shout out Admiral Gibbs, please? Just to give him a little shout out if you'd like to check out the VOD from yesterday. I know there was a lot of people there that, a lot of viewers with some overlap, like Thornhorn. Yeah, Thorn, wasn't it awesome? Two worlds collide. So I definitely saw some overlap over there. We had Peace-tiality, we had Thornhorn, I saw Andy, I saw... hi, Winkos, welcome in. I saw Saturn, I think you were there as well. Yeah, there was quite a bit of overlap. Oh, we saw Chi-Town, he was there. Anyway, regardless, good stream. The topic yesterday, okay, was should nuclear weapons be for sale to the general public? Now, nukes, not for their energy, but for the use as a weapon. Should they be for sale for the general public? Now, when I say general public, obviously only certain people can afford. Yuki! Is that what's happening? It's not that compelling. Yuki, thank you for the bits. Thank you. Okay, hold on, let me fix my hair. So that was the topic yesterday. Obviously, not everyone can afford to buy a nuke, right? So obviously, having a nuke, like, it would be certain people that can afford it. Like, let's say, for example, Elon Musk. Billionaires out there, possibly, if they were for sale, they could possibly afford them. So that was the topic yesterday. Should nukes be for sale for the general public? Okay. So I'm leaving stream if you're entertaining those retard points. Well, I'm building on those points, Wrinkly. Some actually worked on those. Okay. That's besides the point, though. Besides the point. What I'm doing tonight, the callers for Discord call-ins. We already have someone hanging out in the Twitch stream queue. Okay? So that's good news. What I'm doing is I'm building on the topic yesterday. I'm not revisiting the topic, but I'm building on it. Because basically, I think... I don't want nukes to be for sale as a weapon, even by the government. I don't think even governments should own that shit. Okay. Welcome in, Vic. Where would you store a nuke if you bought one? Good question, Bochi. Hopefully safe storage. Hopefully safely stored away. But what I'm saying is, I'm building on the topic yesterday, and I'm posing the question here for the Discord call-ins tonight. Should nuclear weapons even be for sale in general, even by governments? And again, I don't mean nukes for the purpose of harnessing their resources, nuclear energy. I'm talking about in terms of should governments own nukes for weapons, for a deterrent, for a what have you. Okay? There are a lot of nukes pointed at different parts of the world right now, as we speak. We just don't think about that. We could be destroyed currently if they got detonated, by the right people who have the codes. Williams Rabbit, thank you so much for the follow. Okay? Don't need no nuclear wastelands around here. Idaho's barren enough, yeah. Good thing there is a plethora of international laws negating the point you are trying to make. International law, Wrinkly. When you own a nuke, do you trust Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea, with international law? That's exactly what I'm getting at. That's precisely what I'm getting at. Okay? There are kooks out there. I don't trust any government with a nuke, regardless if you have laws in place or not. F the laws when you have a nuke. At the end of the day, you detonate that shit, whatever laws you had was irrelevant. masses are dead. Okay. I don't know about you, chat, but I don't trust the leader of North Korea, a dictator, with nukes. I mean, I don't know if I trust Russia with nukes, to be honest. I don't know if I trust Iran with nukes. Heck, I don't know. I mean, depending on the leader of any government, whether it's a dictatorship or whether it's a democracy, there's certain people leaders that I think are mentally unstable. Okay? Mentally unstable. They may have bought their way up into power. Oh, I love the song. They may have bought their way up into power. Do I trust them with my life? Even if I'm not under their umbrella for their country? Because that's the problem with nukes. Doesn't matter where you live, what country. If this would eradicate huge portions of the world, right? And got all the nukes. Trust. Welcome in, Riggs. Oh, you were there last night too. Thank you for being there, Riggs. King Kamal, exactly. I don't trust anyone with nukes, including 100%. That's what I'm trying to get at. Yes. Thank you for reading in between the lines, King Kamal. Thank you for being 5-head over here. I mean, Wrinkly brought up a great point. We can definitely have callers call in. There are international laws for governments to own nukes. Do we trust that? Do we trust our government? Have they done us dirty in the past? Yuki! Thank you so much. You look incredibly perfect again today. Thank you, Yuki. Thank you for all of the support. I appreciate you. All right. EPMD might be easier to name the trustworthy countries. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, good. I'm not crazy, right? Okay, good. We're on the same page here. You guys are we may not all be on the same page, but you are understanding my point. Okay, when it comes to a deadly weapon that can eradicate the masses, what's trust got to do with it at the end of the day? History, okay, has shown us in the past, King Kamal, that the US has detonated nukes. Pearl Harbor and in the States, in Japan, what is it? Hiroshima. They detonated 2 nukes back in the day. So, yeah, they've done it in the past. What's not to say that they would do that shit again? And it all depends who's in power as well, right? I mean, there could be some leaders that own nukes, and I think that they are rational, level-headed leaders, but then there's other leaders that may come into power, right, every 4 years or so, and that I don't trust them with my life. I don't trust them. Roquin, thank you so much, Roquin, for your sub with Prime. What's love got to do with? That's what I was thinking, Atomic. That's exactly what I was thinking. Thank you, Roquin, for 3 months. Thank you. Oh, by the way, hi, Gummy, welcome. I don't trust Canada, honestly. I mean, that's valid. That's a fair point, Wrinkly. You don't have to trust Canada. I mean, I'm not looking to point fingers and get mad at each other here. That's not what I'm trying to say. I don't know why you wouldn't trust Canada. Have we done anything in the past to prove that? I mean, it's a valid point, Wrinkly. I'm not looking to get heated with this. A-okay. 3, 4, 5. A-okay, thank you so much for the 5. Let's go. And I think Skiz is here too. I think nukes are a distraction. They got more precise lethal energy weaponry now. Ooh, okay, but like what, Skiz? Because I don't know. What is more precise lethal energy weaponry, if not nuclear power? Like a missile? Okay, I understand a missile you could put in the exact coordinates, right? And hit, and it's a little more exact, but does it cause the same amount of destruction, and does it have the lasting effects with radiation? You know what I mean? Is it as deadly, Skiz? It may be more precise. Absolutely, I 100% agree on that. Is it more deadly though? Hi, Jer. Welcome in. Trust no politician. They all corrupt. Nice to see you. Thank you, Jer. Nice to see you as well. Well, you did burn down our special house. Yeah, it wasn't just the Canadians, okay? It wasn't just the Canadians in the War of 1812. The Brits were there too, okay? So, I rather a fun topic. So I'm just continuing the conversation that we had yesterday on Admiral Gibbs' channel. I mean, if you guys want to change the subject, we can. Maple, what do you think a fun topic would be? Definitely this is getting people talking. So it's all about finding the balance in life, right? I want to keep you guys entertained. I also don't want anyone to get their feelings hurt. That's not what this is about, okay? So we're trying to keep each other entertained. Wrinkly, if you're in a bad mood today, you can leave. By all means, Wrinkly. I'm not here to fight with you. I don't know what's up your ass, really. But you know, you can sit this one out, Wrinkly, and I can see you Saturday. I'll be live again on Saturday. Tomorrow I can't stream. I have other things I need to do, but I'll be back on Saturday. So, Wrinkly, if you have a problem, no worries. Okay. Bye, Wrinkly. Have a good night. So, War of 1812 is a fun topic. No, Hobo Hobby, we weren't talking about the War of 1812. We got sidetracked there. We're talking about nuclear weapons. And should the government own nukes for weaponry, not for energy? This is one hell of a topic for a stream. I mean, it was on Admiral Gibbs yesterday. It worked on his stream. It's crazy though, but sometimes it works for some people, and then for others, it doesn't. So the show must go on. You know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Riggs, when you live in a shoe? Nobody should own them. I absolutely agree, Retro. I don't even think government should own them. That's exactly what I'm getting at. And I don't think anyone should own them. Frankly, that's the problem. If one person owns them, they have leverage. And then other people want to own them to defend themselves, which is understandable. It's kind of like, you know, if you have a gun and nobody else does, then you have an upper hand, and then so everyone else wants to carry it. So, I mean, that's understandable. So I don't think any country should own them, because I think they are a terrible, deadly weapon, and there's no need for them. I am not a cryptocurrency girl. No. Cannot say I am. Hi, first time chatter. You don't get to decide if the government has nukes. First time chatter, that's a great point. That's a great point. Do we get to decide? Oh, no, wait! I got a gift! Retro, thank you so much, Retro. Not in an oligarchy, yeah. Thank you, Retro! By the way, I'm not sure if that Chaz guy is here, but I made a lovely bubble tea tonight. So, we have some tapioca. This is a taro. It's like a purple sweet potato situation. Taro, it's a tuber. It's like a sweet potato. So this is taro, and I made my own tapioca. So this is what we have tonight to drink. Hi, first time chatter, welcome. All right. Yeah, I love taro. Okay, we have a couple callers waiting backstage. Maybe they can answer a little bit for me. Okay, let's do it. I think we're gonna do this. It is delicious. Thank you, Beat. Thanks, guys. Lychee's okay too. You're a tuber. I am a tuber. I am on YouTube, chat. Check your girl out on YouTube. So. All right. Here we go. Thank you, Saturn. Okay, let's bring in our guest. I think the Thornhorn was here first. So let's bring them in. and see what they have to say. He watched Admiral Gibbs stream. I was a judge on the stream last night, so we're just kind of continuing and adding on to the topic yesterday. Oh,
Hey, Em.
Yuki, let's go. Like I wish you
Uh,
would.
oh yeah.
Just 1 second.
Okay.
Push it real good. Thank you, Yuki, for the bits. I love that
Woo, Yuki!
a little salt and pepper action. Hi, Lunden. Oh, you were there last night as well. Welcome in, Lunden. All right. Thank you, Yuki, for the bits. Thank you for that. Okay. So, Thornhorn, welcome in. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, of course. Love being on
Okay,
here.
so, Thorn, what do you think? What's your take?
Um, so as far as kind of the podcast yesterday, um,
Yes.
I took it with a grain of salt of kind of the political leanings of like kind of that crew that Admiral Gibbs generally kind of goes on with and stuff. So you kind of have to like look at it through, I don't know, just a different lens or whatever, and just try and listen to kind of what their key points are and stuff with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty interesting to see like their justifications for stuff. Um,
Well, so keep in mind, chat. Admiral Gibbs, he does a lot of debates, so
yeah,
it's different debate panels, and with debates, you could really debate or argue anything as long as you have the right evidence and stuff to
yeah,
back up your point.
exactly.
And so that's really what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just kind of looking at like what the facts that we're presenting towards it and stuff. Um, there was one that I just felt was more rational and kind of like what I understood from what he was saying and stuff. And
So Thornhorn,
he was the winner of
I'm
it,
not
but
looking to go over like the
yeah,
topic yesterday because most of
yeah,
our viewers weren't there for that. So what I'm
yeah,
looking to talk about today is we're just sort of adding on to the topic yesterday. Yesterday it was should the general public be able to buy nuclear weapons for as a weapon? That was the
yeah.
topic yesterday. Today I'm and what I voted out as a judge yesterday, and I voted kind of against the government being able to own nukes for weapons.
Yeah,
Okay, I
totally
don't think
understand that.
I don't think the government should even own nukes. What do you think about that?
I think kind of from a conversational point on that, there were kind of like 2 points that like kind of popped up for me, like when I was thinking about it. One is you can't like unopen Pandora's box, as it were, like sort of thing with it. There's a reason why Oppenheimer said his main quote that he's known for today, which is like quoting um, that one quote where he says like, I am death, destroyer of worlds, sort of thing, with it. Because once you open up that box, you can't close it off,
Right.
and it's not reasonable to assume that it will ever be closed off, sort of thing. Just from a kind of realist perspective, if like I'm living in an ideal world, I would love for there to be no nuclear weapons. That would be great.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't live in that world. That
And so
the box has been opened for it, so it's going to exist regardless of that.
I think the problem is Thornhorn, and would you not agree? We use nukes for energy. We can't just stop owning them. Well, we could, but why would we do that when we use nuclear energy for many things?
I
And
Yeah,
so,
I could go down a rabbit hole of like other like energy resource things on that. A little bit of background on me. I got my degree in economics, specifically resource like
Oh.
environmental economics
Oh.
onto that.
I didn't know that.
So, yeah,
We
like,
have an expert panelist. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So I did a lot of work on like energy resource allocation and kind of like what's the best for like societal impacts and stuff. And like nuclear energy, yeah, it's a very great, resourceful, maintainable energy source for long term sort of generation and stuff like that. It's great when it works. When it doesn't work, and when shit hits the fan, you get stuff like Chernobyl.
All
If
right.
you've ever watched Fear the Walking Dead, they go into detail about like what happens when society falls, and the nuclear generation plants, they don't keep on going. It's catastrophic damage towards it, regardless of
One
kind of
hundred
like what you're
percent.
thinking towards.
There has to be countries like if you're going to own a nuke, it has to. You have to be responsible with it. You can't
Yep,
let it get neglected like
yep.
Chernobyl in the Ukraine did by the Russians.
The
It,
USSR, yeah,
the USSR.
yeah,
But even still, there's responsible countries like Japan that may have a natural disaster that can mess up their nuclear plants as well and cause
yeah.
huge problems. 'Cause accidents can happen even with
Yep.
the most responsible
So, like
nuclear storage.
in an ideal world, I wouldn't want like the concept of nuclear fusion to be a thing. Ideally, there are other workarounds that we have to generate the energy that we need for our modern day lives that is feasible and doable. It's just that nuclear energy is something that's the work was put in by the US military, the USSR military, and the concepts and ideals by all of those scientists were applicable to civilian use of it and stuff like that.
Okay,
If
so
that makes any sense. Sorry.
no, that makes sense. And returning chatter, welcome in. What about the returning chatter? What about Japan? Natural disasters can happen that can mess up the nuclear. What do you call the nuclear holding?
The nuclear power plant facility,
Yeah, like
right?
accidents can happen regardless if you whether if it was poorly
Yeah.
designed or poorly maintained. So it can
Yeah.
happen to
Well,
anywhere. Yeah.
part of that like kind of comes in with the engineers that kind of like designed those 100-year plans, 100-year flood plans, and all of the basic red tape that goes into the government proceedings of that for allowing a facility of that caliber to be commissioned and allowed. One of their base assumptions for that is, weather's going to be somewhat stable. That has changed throughout time, and it's backed up by a lot of like scientific data and stuff like that, that things that are 100-year events, they aren't 100-year events anymore. And I don't mean to like get into like any sort of like political leaning on that. I'm just talking strictly from like kind of what we have gathered data wise towards like environmental factors around us. It has changed, and it isn't a stable environment as much as it was before.
Okay, question for you, Thorn. Since you graduated, you got your degree with economics, right?
Yep.
Environmental economics. If
And
not,
business. Yep.
okay, if not nuclear energy, um, what is another safer, cleaner, renewable source of energy that we could be using?
So one that's really interesting and is a net neutral energy source is carbon recapturement. And the way that that works is they have these facilities that basically they suck all the carbon crap that gets like put out into our atmosphere and stuff, and they suck it down into like underground stuff, and it processes it, and it makes it into a fuel source that you can use in your car. It has the same transferability as like gasoline and all that stuff, and it works exactly the same. The energy combustion ratios are the same, and it's something that is a net neutral carbon impact to the environment. So it's something that is scalable, it is something that is feasible. It's just a matter of getting it to a level that it can get there. Something else that has come up recently that's great. Um, Not as sure about like the reflection process of it. I haven't researched that in depth, but solar energy.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of different things that, like if you look at California for an example of it, they had a ducktail event that happened over the summer where um, basically they captured more energy than what the grid was able to process, the energy grid or
Mm-hmm.
whatever for it. So that was something that like individuals could impact on what the energy profile is for the country, for the United States on it. One thing that's also interesting about that is like the United States energy infrastructure is quite a bit dated. There's a lot of room for improvement on it. There's a lot of improvement that could be had to make it more efficient in the way that it transports energy across spaces and
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like when you think about like a car or whatever, it takes a
Hang
little bit
tight.
of energy.
Hang tight. Hold that thought,
Yeah.
Thornhorn, because Gertie7, aka Wade, just came in with a 5-speed. We just put it in to drive. Thank you so much, Wade, for the 5. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome in, Wade. I'm not drinking a beer tonight. I have a bubble tea instead.
Oh,
So,
heck yeah.
thank you, Wade. Thanks for the 5. I appreciate you.
Also, tell me if I get in like way too far in the weeds with stuff
We did
and
get a
like
little
a
we
rabbit
got a little
hole.
into the
Yeah.
weeds. We're kind of
Yeah.
trying to we just want to keep it, keep it for everyone to understand, easily
Yeah,
graspable and all of that.
absolutely.
We're-
Please correct me when that happens because I do that quite often with
That's
stuff.
okay, Thornhorn. I have a question for you, kind of
Yeah.
a little bit off topic, but on topic, on topic. But so you mentioned earlier, in a perfect world, we would not have
Yeah.
any nuclear weapons, right? In your opinion,
Nuclear fusion. The
nuclear
whole entire
fusion.
process of it.
No new. So okay, good. My question to you then, Thorn. How do we get rid of it? How do we do this?
We don't. It's unfortunately one of those things. Once Pandora's box got opened, it's open, and there's no going back from it.
What do you
Which,
mean? Why? Why?
because like an example of this that you know uh, might be like a news controversial topic, but like just the concept of it is kind of like what I'm getting at.
Okay.
Do you know about Luigi Mangione?
Yes. Just
He
let's Luigi
Yeah,
Mangione.
I'm gonna keep it to the facts of it. So he 3D printed a gun, right?
Yes.
Ideal world, you wouldn't have like someone that's able to 3D print a gun, right?
Right. So he went in
So
between the lines. He did
he went
some.
to the dark web, he figured it
Mhm.
out, the information's out there, and you can replicate the process.
Mhm.
That shouldn't be a thing, that shouldn't be allowable. But, people find a way to do that. That's kind of the same process with like kind of nuclear fusion. And it's to a point of like, you know, ninth graders that are super interested in science and stuff, they can replicate pretty accurately what a nuclear bomb is. And then Homeland Security gets involved or whatever, or like your agency gets involved with that and stops it.
Okay, so Skiz brings up a good point. Why limit us from technology? That's where the problem is with the gray area, in my opinion, with nukes, because they do provide a lot of technology, energy sources and whatnot, but technology isn't the bad guy. People are. Skiz, that is a whole nother thing. Like, look at AI. Technology isn't the bad, but people are bad. And so that's exactly what Thornhorn's getting at, Skiz. Like, 3D printers are not a bad thing. You can use them as a tool. Guns are not necessarily bad. You can use them as a tool. People are bad. Some people are bad, and some people will utilize things and use them, maybe not in the way that they should be used, or just
intended to be used,
and take advantage, for their own benefit. And I choose freedom. How do we regulate that, Skiz? Especially, we're not talking about a gun that can maybe kill a dozen people, a couple dozen. We're talking about, like, possibly destroy a large portion of the world and the population here, right? It's like...
And like, kind of the counter side to the argument that was like kind of brought up with that, they didn't go in at all about the damage that it does to the environment, the general global environment that having a nuclear catastrophe brings.
Right.
There's like a certain thing of like, there are certain wine bottles that are valued like in the millions because they haven't been uncorked before the nuclear bomb went off, because it is just that pure.
Right. So hang tight, Thornhorn. Wade, get your snacky poo. Hopefully we see you later, Wade. Also, welcome in Nibs. Nibs, I tried to see you on, when was that? Tuesday? I didn't see you Tuesday, so I wanted to wait and open this with you here, Nibs. I just got this in the mail. I think it arrived on Monday.
Yeah.
So here we go, guys. Here we go. What did we have here? We have... Yes, thanks, Hawker, for reminding me. Yeah. Matt, Kale, thank you so much for the follow. Guys, we have some snacks for the Schweeties. We have some yak cheese. These are great.
Oh my gosh, that looks fantastical for the dog.
High protein, only 3 ingredients. It's made from, it's milk, yak milk, lime, and salt as the preservatives. These are so tasty. Thank you so much. Some treats for the Sweetie Bobities, Nibs. They will enjoy it. So I get them to munch on it. These are hard, which is good because I have some power chewers. Okay, I have some power chewing dogs with pretty high, like, strong jaws. And then what I end up doing is, as they're nibbling them down, when they get to be a choking hazard, like a little nub, like a little nib, like a little nibs, what I do is I end up putting them in the microwave. Becca, welcome in. Hi, Tummy. Hello, oxygen. I'll put the little nub in the microwave for like 30 seconds and they puff up, and they don't become a choking hazard anymore. They kind of puff up like popcorn or something. So that's what I end up doing, so that you don't waste the little choking hazard little nub at the end. So thank you so much. There are 4 in here and they will absolutely love them, and they're very healthy as well. High in protein and easily digestible. Those Dentabones, those greenies, are not very digestible. At least for my dogs, they can't digest them properly. They end up vomiting them up like 6 hours later. And so it's not good. I'm scared for intestinal blockages. So, but these are great. So thank you so much, Nibs. And Viva and Vegas, thank you as well. All right, so a person can't physically possess a nuclear device. The materials are not just nationally my internationally regulated. Well, we're not. We're talking about should governments own nukes? Frank, they do own nukes. Should they be able to own them though? Do you know what I mean?
Or
Um,
just like should like anyone own nukes,
right,
sort of thing.
right. Okay, so
And we kind of got into a little bit of a rabbit hole of should like nuclear fusion be a thing, sort of thing.
right. Okay, so Thornhorn, any other notes you want to bring up before I start bringing on other guests? And then what we could do is, if you want to jump in later to address any other points, you can do so. I just don't want to keep people waiting in the queue for too long.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that one of the points that really didn't get presented in that previous one, and just like something as like kind of a baseline for when you're talking about nukes and stuff, is what is the global environmental factor that a nuclear fusion event occurs for everywhere, not just here, not just there, everywhere on the planet, and also for the main zone of it that is catastrophic damage, that is irreparable damage. It is something that is not going to be restored within this generation, sort of thing. And
That's
think
true.
about that sort of thing. So
100%.
yeah, okay. I'll hop out here.
Okay, thank you so much, Thornhorn.
Yep.
Maybe we'll bring you
I
back after. We'll see you in
Awesome.
chat.
I really appreciate like your streams and stuff. So
Oh, thank
right.
you, Thorn. I appreciate you
Yeah.
as well. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Bye.
We'll see you in chat. All right. I think Riggs was here second, and then Wrinkly was here. So let's bring on Riggs. Greetings and welcome, Riggs. Thanks for calling in.
Well, hello. Let me
Mute the
mute
stream.
real quick.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, is my audio pretty loud?
I'm fixing it. You're golden.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
something
perfect.
was kind of goofed up on my end. I don't know. Yeah. So we were having a little chat in the back chat there. Wrinkly's a very interesting guy.
I think he's in a very interesting mood right now.
He knows a lot about this subject, and I think he wanted to get in on it or something.
He's very passionate about it for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but what about you, Riggs? Are you passionate about this subject? What type of insight can you bring to the call?
Yeah, I mean, you know me. I like to bring hot takes and just trigger everybody. That's kind of like my MO here, I guess.
Okay.
About 10 years ago, I came across a guy named Galen Windsor. And this man claimed to be part of like some of the earliest nuclear programs in the US. And he helped like start different nuclear facilities and set everything up. Now, I'm not claiming to be an expert, and I don't remember a lot of the information, but I just remember thinking at that time, he rose a lot of arguments about how they came to classify nuclear energy from the get-go. And one day, radiation and nuclear was somewhat relatively safe, which he handled with his hands. Sometimes he would ingest it. Actually,
what type of radiation? Where did he get it from?
Plutonium and uranium. He was working at the facilities, and he would actually go on stage and show people of him eating this material and using a Geiger. Like he was actually just trying to help educate the public that it was a military controlled psyop. That this idea that radiation was extremely dangerous was totally misunderstood, and that the range of danger was blown out of proportion relative to like what it actually was. Now, I've never handled radioactive material like that. I can't say that, but this was the guy who was making the facilities, and I guess at some point they started to, under the pretense of national security or safety, they could pretty much push in any legislation that they'd want, right? So he made the claim or the argument that it was under those pretenses that they created extra layers of security in order to create new programs, to create new legislation, to increase the price, and then to create management systems. So, like, he even said that, like, the waste products of the nuclear energy was actually extremely valuable because they could refurbish it. So it was actually more valuable than the waste was. Many arguments like that. But, it's a whole different story. Anyways, I think that, after reviewing all that back then, I came to the conclusion that I'm not sure the government really has nukes. I'm not entirely sure.
What? Okay, so you think that they're just fronting. They're just, bluffing.
I think it serves them the benefit. I think that if you want to have world control, you use it with fear and domination. And then, they could always lace radioactive material in something like firebombing and then supposedly execute one of these nukes and therefore set precedent that they could do it to your country.
Riggs, that's all fine and dandy, but how do you explain detonating the nukes World War II?
Well, like I said, they could lace material. Some kind. Big bombs still exist, right? Like, I'm not going to claim I know exactly how it was done, but I do know that 3 days after the bombing, everything went back to normal in the cities, and that there was no fallout that you're used to hearing about. Now, the Russian stuff with what's it called? You said it earlier.
Chernobyl.
Now, I think it is the case there also. Like, this idea of fallout could very easily be just, a couple videos or pictures placed as propaganda to insinuate fallout. I I can't prove otherwise, but I think the incentive is there in far greater capacity that they would love to have a program like that where they could just threaten by force, or the idea of threat in order to get people, to better manage countries and people.
For sure, it will instill fear. Absolutely, that's what it is. It's a bit of a standoff. Like, I have a nuke pointed at you. Okay, I'll have a nuke and I'll point it at you. And now we have all of these deadly weapons. In theory, because you're right, Riggs. I will give it to you. We don't actually know who has what and what we're working with here. It's all undisclosed pretty well. Like, information. Well, you're supposed to disclose that you have a nuke. That's actually true, but.
Yeah.
Have we all seen it with do we really know what they're disclosing is true? We don't know. Everyone does lie, Thornhorn, and for sure, if someone's working with more than what you have, aren't you going to lie and be like, oh yeah, I have that too. Just try me. Let's puff out our chest. Like, let's bluff a little bit. So that could possibly be true. But with all
I think it's smart to entertain ideas. I'm on the fence with a lot of it. The reason I was reminded of it was because of yesterday. You made a really great point in closing that people manage the government.
Yes.
And even if the government wasn't there, people would still have to manage themselves. And so if the world has knowledge and access to nukes, then you couldn't trust anybody, government or not,
right?
Nukes or not. Somebody would at some point get access to the information or figure out a way. So if the nukes haven't been used, in any way thus far, other than like official capacity, I'm sorry, I don't know if I can really bargain in the direction that they actually exist yet. Now, if you tell me some pirates put together a nuke or they stole a nuke and they set it off and you could verify it and there was real fallout, I mean, that would be something at least. But I don't have anything like that. I just have like government sanctioned storylines as far as I can tell.
But But are you saying the USSR did have them though? Like with Chernobyl, you do think that is the case? I mean, because they're still testing Chernobyl, and there's still high radiation levels in certain parts of the Ukraine, right?
Right, and I'm not saying there wouldn't be any radiation levels, but what Galen claimed was that the scale of danger with radiation isn't fair or accurate to, you know, what the actual danger is. Now, I can't testify to that, obviously. But that was, you know, that was the case he made, and he was far more understanding of it than I am.
I kind of get what you're saying, Riggs. I kind of get what you're saying. Like, I mean, okay, just because you have elevated cancer risk due to high radiation levels, is it really the direct result of the radiation, or maybe it just happened to be elevated cancer levels? Unless you're having like burns, like nuclear burns and whatnot, like, you know, direct results that would happen within, you know, days, weeks, months. But if you're looking at long term,
you might fall into more cancer also. Just stress alone. You know, if your area was bombed and you were under extreme stress, there was fallout in your area because of families being broken apart and whatnot. You might feel sad and horrible, not get sleep that you needed to get, and you might get sick too. It's hard to differentiate with so many variables.
It's true. It's kind of hard to prove that, you know, elevated radiation levels will give you X, Y, and Z. You know, but
you know, the radiation sickness indicators, they're all essentially like common symptoms of just illness. Stomach ache.
Atomic, listen, take this as a grain of salt. We're playing devil's advocate here. People are trying to bring up points. And like, let's not get too heated. Atomic, all right? Like, you know, okay. Riggs, thanks so much for calling in. I'm going to move to the next callers, but if you think of another point that you want to bring up later on, feel free to call back in. But I just want to start clearing the queue because we do have a few people waiting in line right now.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you for calling in. Take care. All right. Should I bring in Wrinkly or should I bring in Skiz? What do I want to do right at this very moment in time? Okay, let's bring in... Are we ready for this? Flip a coin! Skizzy Wizzy! I feel like Skizzy Wizzy is gonna bring a smile to our face. and Wrinkly is gonna just really get us heated. Like, I'm just trying to think of setting the tone right now. Wrinkly, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm gonna bring you in, Wrinkly. I promise you I will bring you in. But I just want to bring in Skiz first, because I just want to have a laugh. I just want to have a smile. I just want to see what Skiz says. And then I'll bring you in, Wrinkly, okay? So you're in next, Wrinkly, after Skiz. Sorry, Wrinkly. Wrinkly, you're next. After Skiz. Okay, let's bring in Skiz. Greetings and welcome in, Skiz.
Hello!
Hello, Skiz. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah. Hey, I think there were people in the audience waiting before me, though. I feel like I cut line here. What's going on?
You know what? We're going to bring them in. They will have their time to shine. I just wanted to bring in... I just want different insight from different callers. And I think you could bring in some fresh new ideas, Skiz.
Oh, fresh new ideas. Okay, that's what I'm here for. Got you. Okay, so listen. Should the government own nukes? What kind of question is that, really, though? Because it can be it's very vague. Morally, like, where's the intention? I feel like intention needs to be brought into the question. Like, how about, should the government have the intention to use nukes on other people versus, you know, I don't know. Oh, did somebody just sub?
Where's Kindred? Thank you so much. Where's Kindred for a whole damn year? Where's Kindred? Thank you for 12 whole calendar months. Where's Kindred? Let's go.
Where's Kindred?
And we just got 20 gifted from an anonymous viewer. Anon is in the house. Thank you so much.
Not it. Anonymous.
Don't worry.
Cheers,
be
brother.
happy. Don't worry. Be happy.
Don't worry. Be happy.
I love this smiley face.
See, I feel like I'm missing out because I don't have your stream volume up, so I don't even know the sound going on in your stream. That's the
I
only
know.
problem is.
I know. It's all good. It's all good. It's just my regular 20 gift sub sound, but I changed the alert and it's like a don't worry, be happy badge. Thank you so much, Anon, for the 20 gifted. Thank you. Okay, so, but okay, here's the thing, Skiz. You just brought up a good.
Testing my volume.
Yeah, you just brought up a good point, saying, should the government be allowed to use them as weapons? Here's the thing: you own a nuke, Skiz. Doesn't matter what you say. Doesn't matter if there's international treaties and international laws saying I won't use them. You give a nuke to a weird, crazy dictator like, let's say, the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong Un.
Yeah, fuck that.
And
guy.
do you just trust him with a nuke? To be honest, who knows, right?
No, but the problem is he's already testing it. So as a realist that I am,
Yes,
I have to say that, listen, we got to have nukes. We got to have that deterring factor. Now, if you want to talk morally, that's a whole different story. Like, you got to bring intention in on the question, like, what is your intention to utilize this nuke? Is it to create power? Are you, like, it just says nukes. It doesn't say necessarily weaponry. So I don't know
Right.
what you mean by that. We need some narrowing down of the question, in my opinion. However, I think technology should not be regulated. We shouldn't have regulated technology. We want to live free in this world, right? We want to use technology. Like the one guy was talking about 3D printing guns.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? If our brains can come up with a contraption, maybe that helps us like shoot some dinner one night, get a squirrel, eat a squirrel or something, like what the fuck? We should have that technology. You know what I'm saying? Like there shouldn't be any regulation on that. Now the problem is there will always be negative and bad doing people.
Good and
so
bad.
You gotta.
That's
Right.
that's a time old, conundrum where there's good and there's bad, good fighting bad. There's the bad guys and there's the cops, the robbers and the cops, right? And there's always, the bad guys breaking the law and the good guys that go to catch them. And it's just this vicious cycle happening, right? People, doing bad in the world and good guys trying to, fix the situation. That's happens all the time, right? So what you're saying, Skiz,
Right.
is
Escalation sucks, and it's already there. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So, like, I think the bad guys can make guns just as well as the good guys can. The bad guys can smuggle guns just as well as the good guys can. The bad guys can find a way to fucking get something, whether it's a gun or not, or a nuke or anything, So we gotta find a way to balance out the equation. And I think that's where the deterring factor of having a nuke comes into play. However, it sucks. I agree, it sucks because I don't want to mutually destroy the fucking world. I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's no good. But at the same time, how the fuck are you going to handle these people? You can't. I mean, you're going to have Iran or North Korea, threatening, hey, some of these people, some of these dictators are wily in their head, man. They're wily. They got some, like, wild shit going on. So what if they just suddenly want to take your country? What if they want to take your people? You know what I mean? Like, how are you going to handle that shit? You know what I'm saying?
Of course, you're going to. That's why if hypothetically, if you were to get rid of them as weapons, everyone would have to. The entire globe would have to have it eradicated. But I also do know.
How realistic is that?
Well, it's not very
realistic is that?
realistic. And it's also, how would we even dispose of them safely and all of that as well? Because, like, now that we have them, it's hard going back. And then you brought up a great point, Skiz. Why limit the technology that you can use? Because there is a lot of good technology that comes out of nuclear energy, right? And so why limit, the development of the world just because potentially this technology could get in the wrong hands, right?
Right.
So
and you brought up AI, for example. Any technology can be used negatively toward other people if those people choose and have the intention to fuck with other people. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Just like this 3D gun. So yeah, you could maybe make a 3D gun, right, with a 3D printer and use it to go assassinate someone. But you could also use that 3D printer to make good. Maybe, I don't know, some type of a special microchip or something that we could not make before, or something that's more cheap, like more cost effective, and you can mass produce it with a 3D printer, and therefore making it, readily available to everybody, so it does good for the world, right? Like, use it. You can always use tools in a negative light or in a positive light, right? So
I think AI is a great example because it is proven to increase productivity for thousands and thousands, millions of people. But at the same time, it also can create malicious ass viruses and things like that that can fuck with you. And, so there's always a double-edged sword somewhere going on. And so how do we balance that as humans? I don't know. You almost have to break down the question more and say, hey, let's talk about morality today. Let's talk about intentions. Let's talk about, purposeful, like, practicality of technology. I mean, you almost have to break it out because, and then where's the balance? I don't know. It's hard to say. You got to equal out the fucking equation somehow,
And here's another thing too, right, Skiz, and the rest of chat. Okay, so you might give a nuke to a reliable country. But then maybe government changes hands, and some other person takes over power and they are no longer reliable. Like, how can you ensure that technology that they're having, that deadly weapon, is not going to be misused even in the future? Like, maybe when they're getting it, they are reliable, but 20 years down the road, things can change, at the drop of a hat.
Yep,
so
100%.
Got
it.
Yeah.
Wait, so we agree right now? Are we agreeing, man?
Yeah, we're agreeing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's hard to disagree with my opinion on this one, I think.
I'm not here. So, okay, I'm not debating anyone. That's the difference between what Admiral Gibbs does and what I do. I don't do a lot of debates. What I try to do is use Discord as a platform for people to come on and tell their side, tell what their opinion is. But I try
and bring up intriguing topics of conversation, and this is one of those things. There's a lot of different angles to it, and a lot of different, directions you could go with it. So,
what you're going to say is there's nothing right. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just like, what's your opinion on the matter? And so the government as well. And here's the thing too. A lot of people are saying, oh, people don't allow people to decide, leave it up to the government. But this was the point that I made yesterday on Gibbs' stream as a judge.
I missed this, by the way, and I wish I would have caught that. I don't know if they got a VOD on it or not.
It is. You can catch the VOD. It's up. So it was only about an hour and a half. It wasn't a long stream. But anyway, good points were made though. So here's the thing. Leaving it up to the government, though, isn't the government, unless you're living in a dictatorship, right, where you can't really choose the government. But if you're living in an open government like US, Canada, UK, what have you, where you are electing your government, isn't it really then the people that are choosing, because they're electing, right? It's a democracy, and you're voting in that government. And so really, you are really at that point leaving it up to the people, if it is the government, if that makes any sense.
I mean, unless you're a North Korean citizen who doesn't have any choice or thought or process on who the leader is. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, unless it's a dictatorship. It could be other, Venezuela, there's other ones as well, for sure. Yes. So, at that point, we still, we're kind of leaving it up. Like, it is the people who decide at the end of the day in a democracy, even though it's the government.
100%.
But the problem
we
is...
also agree that democracy is the way to go. See, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen.
Of course, democracy is the way to go, Skiz. But here's the real kicker. Now, I don't want to get too into politics, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Okay, here's the thing with Canadian politics. Okay, we just had Prime Minister Trudeau just resigned. Okay, so we're going to be having another election coming up shortly. He was Liberal, so he was a left Democrat. So, in Canada, it goes kind of back and forth, just like the States sort of goes as well. Hi, Lord Gumbos. Hi, Shy. Welcome in. And Generation X-Wing. So now that we had Liberals for the last little while, it'll probably sway back to the right, like Republican way, like conservative side. So we always have back and forth happening. And that happens a lot in the States as well.
It does. That's the beauty of what we do. Both of our countries are like that, you know? There has to be some kind of balance. It goes up and down, you know?
Right. But let's say myself as, for example, a liberal, you know, I may vote someone in and they may put in all these environmental laws. Okay. But then 4 years later, the next term, conservative gets voted in and they're like, oh, screw that. Screw this. Let's do this. Let's do that. Like, don't worry about the frogs and don't worry about the trees and just, you know what I mean? Like, so it's always you're trying to correct each other, and it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back a lot of the time. Right. So there might be one government that feels very strongly about, you know, nuclear weapons and nuclear power and all of that. And then the next government might be like, oh, nah, X that, right? And then so it's really difficult to gauge what's happening at one particular time because it's constantly changing and evolving, right? So there's that.
And I think society I think this is the best system, though. Like, for example, all my neighbors, you know, we don't all have the same fucking thoughts and same opinions, and you know what I mean? Things mean something different to you than it might mean to me. So, I mean, it's important that we have some time for both of us to kind of lead and go in a direction. So 2 steps, you know, what did you say? 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Yeah. I like that because eventually you're equalizing now, you know, going forward, but slowly. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's the only way to handle things. You know, I mean, it's a beautiful thing though. What we've discovered as humanity, like, you know, somehow is aggressive and, you know, like different sides of all these different opinions. Somehow we've come together and found a system that allows us to exchange like the spotlight with each other. So even if we don't agree all the time, you know, like I can still get behind the Canadian system, or I can get behind the U.S. system and say, you know what, fuck it. They were elected this year. The people are feeling this way right now, so let it be, you know, like that's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, Skiz. Skiz, thank you so much for calling in and for giving some insight. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for letting me cut the line. That's kind of wild, but hey, Hot Ann, you're awesome. Thank you for hosting these streams. It's so cool.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you, Skiz, and we'll see you in chat. Bye, Skiz. Hi, first-time chatter. Welcome in, Explorer. Hello from Canada. And hi, Thrasher. Welcome in, Thrasher. And I'm not sure what's going on, Frank Cheese and whatnot, but we have another. Let's bring in Wrinkly Beef. I wanted to bring Skiz. I did let him bud the line a little bit. You know, he greased the bouncer a little bit. No, he didn't. But you know, I wanted just a night. I didn't want fighting. I wanted just to switch it up a little bit and keep it happy. So, let's bring in Wrinkly Beef right now because I know he's very passionate about the subject. So let's see what Wrinkly Beef has to say about the subject. Greetings and welcome in, Wrinkly. Hello.
I'm just trying to hang out with the fellas, Ann.
Oh, you are? I thought you wanted to come and say something on the stream.
No.
Oh, you're just hanging out.
Fucking fellas, man.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you're doing
now that you're here, Wrinkly. Yeah, now that you're here, though, right?
Yeah, I need all the fellas. Yeah, you already brought me in.
Oh, you want to bring you want to bring other people
Yeah,
in?
I'm gonna need a skiz and I'm gonna need a refuge. Yeah.
You want to need Okay, let's bring them all in then. Okay. Welcome in Skiz, welcome in Refuge. You have been summoned.
Whoa!
Can I get
we
a
got
no?
like
Yeah.
yo! We got a whole panel now. This is wild.
Yeah, we
Oh,
do, we do. So welcome
Treat it
in
with
Refuge.
respect.
Yeah, so I want to ask Refuge, what's your opinion on the matter? Just because I'm not sure what ideas you have to bring to the table.
Well, I'm not sure about the matter. I had your stream muted when all that drama happened. I'm not sure what's going on. I just noticed some Russian guy that's probably drunk. It's like 6:12 in the morning in Russia, so.
That's
Oh.
not what she asked, man.
No,
She
I'm
asked,
wondering-
what grade level do you read at?
No, that's not what I asked, Wrinkly. That's not what I asked.
Finance.
What I'm wondering, Refuge, is nuclear weapons. Do you think we should, the world should have them, or should we abolish them, or what? How do you feel about nuclear weapons?
I like nuclear weapons. I think if you can afford it, you should have it. You know.
If you can afford it, you should have it. That's what you think?
Yeah. I believe
It's
that.
capitalism.
But
baby.
why? But why should you have it? Should you just have it for the fuck of it, or should
No, just
but
for
why should
defense.
you have
I'd
it?
say, not to attack anybody.
Just to
For
point
defense,
it,
he says.
just to wave it around, and but not to use it. Do you think?
That's
I
my
mean,
that's my
you'd
wiener,
only use
Dan.
it.
That's my wiener. It's this
You'd
big.
only use it. You'd only use it like worst case scenario, which hopefully never happens in our lifetimes.
Because why would you hope it never happens in our lifetimes or in our children's or grandchildren's lifetime?
I mean, there's only been 2 nukes
So we
dropped.
don't kill
and that
our
was on
entire
Japan.
blood fucking line, obviously. But
There's only been 2 nukes dropped, and
Yeah, in Japan,
and
it's caused major devastation
yeah,
even till this day. So probably shouldn't think about using a
well,
nuke.
that's the only 2 examples of it devastating a
Yeah,
population.
Hiroshima and
There's
Nagasaki.
been so many more nukes dropped than that. But
Yeah, well, that's the major
this
ones.
is the only time, it devastated a population. But
there has been testing
in
for
our
sure.
defense, they
Mhm.
started it. They started it.
Yeah.
Pearl Harbor.
I'm not. Yes, sir.
I still don't think they
With
should
us,
drop those, though.
We will make new technology.
So wait,
about it. It
Wrinkly,
sucks.
do you think because they started it, that's a good way to finish it, though?
No, I think everybody agrees that it was a little too much. It was
Overkill,
See, the problem
so to
is they
speak?
didn't know the
Yeah.
devastation. They didn't know
I'm
the
sorry.
devastation of the atom bomb at the time, right? So,
Right.
yeah.
we had this big
My first
brand
name is
new
Adam,
weapon.
by the way.
We
Yes,
had
I
this
was
big
named
brand new
after it,
weapon,
but-
and we were pissed because somebody invaded our space in our fucking home world, and that's what
Yeah.
happened, and
Hawaii
then
wasn't
the
even
whole
a
world
fucking state
realized
yet, dude.
this is devastating. We shouldn't be
Hawaii
doing this
wasn't
as
even a
humankind.
motherfucking state yet, dude.
Bro, you're right, dude. That's crazy.
That's still
You're-
a
Neither
little
was
too much.
Guam,
actually.
dude.
I'm assuming you're right.
I am right. I mean,
But what I was saying earlier, and we didn't really talk about this, and maybe you don't want to talk about it, so stop me if you don't. But I'm just saying, I have a feeling that
Mhm.
there was a lot more precise and effective weaponry out available that may not be as public. That is laser technology, sound
fucking
technology.
Thrashers in here?
Bro,
What the
this
fuck?
kind of stuff I think can be way more effective potentially for precise targeting and lethality.
Thrashers?
Yeah, I agree. I don't agree with what Harry Truman did, but that's what he decided
Yeah,
to do. So
fuck Truman, dude.
Sorry, what did Truman decide to do?
he dropped 2 nukes on
Oh,
Japan.
okay.
He was the
Um,
president of the United States
At the
during that
time. I see. Okay.
Sorry, Ian. Executive order. Thrasher's in here. Have to shout her out. So, she's a sweet angel.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
is my webcam gonna show up on stream if I show it?
No, it won't.
Nope.
I don't care
No.
if it does, but I was just wondering.
Right.
Okay.
So what was I going to say? Yeah, so the technology though, Skiz, like with laser and you said sound weapons and these like maybe undisclosed weapons that we have right now, right?
Yeah.
Do you like would they have lasting effects like radiation would, do you think?
Well, I don't think so. I think that they're much more precise and lethal for a specific target, and I think maybe that's the way you should go. It's just I don't know. I wouldn't obviously nobody wants innocent lives to, pass away from some aggressive bombing. However, I will say the public acknowledgement that it is possible is also important because you don't want one of these countries with a wild dictator coming out and saying, "All right, bitch, you don't got nothing. I'm gonna take your country," and then start a world war and then throw a bomb over here and then we gotta respond. Again like that Japan situation. I mean, I don't know. I think it's important to have some publicly available acknowledgement of lethality and nuke technology in those situations. However, the realistic approach to dealing with something should be used like some of these other weaponry types, like the laser technology they have. They're shooting lasers into space and they're like doing like wild shit with lasers now, by the way. I don't know if y'all ever read any of that.
Yeah,
but it's
man.
wild.
I agree. I've killed a couple aliens actually, and
No,
You
you
did?
want me to?
What the?
Yeah.
No, you fucking.
If you want me to join with webcam, I can't join this.
Let's not
specific
joke about
channel,
killing people.
But
man.
well,
So,
aliens aren't
He
people.
said alien.
Take
He
that
said
back.
alien.
Take that back.
Alien extraterrestrials. But you're right. We don't want to joke about that. I agree.
Lasers,
But yeah.
lasers, not illegal aliens, I hope.
I want
Not
to show
those-
my webcam,
No,
but
he's not talking about Mexicans like he actually.
We're not talking about earthly beings, all right? We're
Okay,
not
what,
talking-
so wait, what did you want to show on your webcam though? Like, what are you gonna? Do you have
I
a?
just wanted y'all to see what I
It's
look
not your
like.
giant.
Oh,
wiener,
what you
dude.
look like? Oh,
It's
it's
like-
okay.
Yeah,
We
I'm
don't.
not gonna show anything.
I thought you
sensitive
might
like
have some
that.
evidence of some kind for these aliens
If
that
I
you
did have
killed.
evidence, I wouldn't show y'all.
Okay,
Okay.
Fair.
Well, now I'm
That's
curious. So let.
but that's I mean that's off topic for sure. But
Fucking.
so but here's the thing,
Radio
guys.
show
Back.
host.
Let's hone it in. Let's lock in a bit. Okay.
Everybody, fucking circle back.
Let's circle back here. So with the nukes, right? Here's the thing: if you can attain one, like the government, right? Let's say
You can't.
Pakistan, Iran,
They can't.
North
either.
They
Korea.
don't have the
Well, they have
technology
them
to
now,
make that.
right? They have them.
No, there's also
So
laws. that
but how once you
prohibit
get
that.
them, when you get a weapon like that, how do you get rid of it? Like once you have it, you have it, right?
You need
So
a team
first-
of like 300
First, they need
engineers.
nuclear reactors.
No, you're wrong. It's not how it works.
How does it
Alright,
work,
sorry,
Wrinkly?
I'm not a nuclear engineer.
What was the question?
How does it work? Like for a nuclear weapon, like a warhead.
How do you get one?
don't
Okay.
fucking
What
know.
are you talking
How
about?
do I know?
Like, are we talking like
I think
just a warhead?
I mean, I said once you have the weapons, right? Like whatever North Korea has, Iran, Pakistan, like these countries, what do they have? Is it a nuclear warhead? I mean, North Korea is testing them, right? They're like, they're
North
testing.
Korea's fucking pussies, dude. And they
FYI, do
no,
not Google
they're-
that question, anybody. Anyway,
North Korea's not even on the internet, bro. Like,
They are on the internet, but their
They are-
their
no.
people are not allowed. But they are on the internet.
no, they're gay, is what they are.
The people
They-
that run North Korea
What?
are just all criminals.
Correct. Yeah. They're
Okay.
not taken seriously. Like,
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty
sorry,
much.
like I shouldn't say more than that, but like they're just not. they have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
Okay, so what about Pakistan? Warheads pointing at India.
Pakistan,
Are they taken seriously?
They take money from Saudi Arabia.
Okay, that's besides the point. They have a weapon, right? Do we agree on that?
No, they do
I
not.
agree. Yeah.
They don't.
They don't.
Nope.
Welcome in, Whack-A-Mole. Good evening, and hello, Andrelius. Okay, Wrinkly, what points do you want to make today before we move on?
Nothing.
Okay. I'm going to move into the next callers. So thank you so much, Wrinkly, Skiz, and Refuge for calling in. But
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. If
Allow
you want
me to show
call
my webcam next time. I can show your community.
Why do you want to
like.
show your webcam so badly? No one else is going to see it, just us.
Wait, you gotta wait for date night. You gotta wait for date night with Ann. See, you gotta get
I
on
didn't know that
webcam
existed.
and do you gotta do stream together, and then you can do it, right? Is
Yeah,
that
yes.
You're right,
So
Skiz, yeah.
I do e-dates, but not right now, but maybe in February or some maybe next month. So keep checking back.
I don't date anybody, but I'll be humble and not show my webcam tonight.
Oh, he's gonna.
You'll be humble and not show your webcam? I'm so scared. I really feel like you would really show us something more than we wanted to see. I don't know, man.
My cars will scare you.
That's why you got to use stream together.
Yes, exactly,
All on
exactly.
them, man.
Exactly. So,
Right.
but thank you so much
care.
for calling in, guys. We'll see you in chat, and if you want to call back later, by all means. I just want to get to the
what's
other people in the
stream
queue.
name?
I love you.
What's the
You don't know the
stream
stream name? It's hot
Nah, can you-
underscore Ann underscore stream.
streamy.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks. All right, peace out, guys.
All right,
Heck
take
yeah,
care.
brother.
Thank you, Skiz. Thank you, Wrinkly. We'll see you in chat.
Hey,
I just
no
want to
big
move on.
rush.
Just want to move on to the other callers. All right. Thank you, guys. All right, so gee willikers. I just have to take a deep breath. I just gotta I gotta clear my throat. How's everybody doing tonight? What am I missing in chat right now before we bring on our other callers? We have a couple of other guys to bring in. What's in your throat? A frog. Could be radioactive, Royal. Could be a radioactive frog. Okay. All right. Yeah, there you go, Royal. Perfect. So, what am I missing, guys? World's most dangerous nuclear power are India and Pakistan. They have long-standing beef with each other. That holds true Generation X with a lot of neighboring countries. Look at Ukraine and Russia. Look at, a lot of neighboring countries. Okay. So, it just happens that way sometimes. Joer, honestly, Vegas has not tried to come in for some reason today. He hasn't been pawing at the door, but I promise as soon as he does paw at the door, I will bring him in. And 8 Froggy, yeah, hi Game Breaker, long time no see, and TJ. I enjoy natural fusion reactions. So that's the problem, TJ, with nukes, right? We can use it for good, as Skiztech was saying before. We can use those nukes for good, and we can also use them for, possible death and destruction. How do we regulate that shit, right? Ukraine gave up its nukes for peace, though. Oops. Do you think they're regretting it now, Giant Death Robot? Now they're using drones. They're using drones in the war. Welcome back, returning chatter. I'm doing amazing. Welcome in. Okay. Are you disappointed Vegas hasn't tried to come in yet? Just wait for it, Anne. Oh, no, I'm not disappointed at all. I think Joer might be disappointed. Joer's definitely waiting for it. He loves to see the pups. Every stream, well, at least Vegas. Viva's camera shy. So fusion is safe since it doesn't have dangerous chain reaction of fission. Nuclear fission. Alright. Let's bring another guest in. So let's bring in, I don't know, I just see C. I have no idea who this is. We're going to see in a minute. Greetings and welcome in. You're live on the air. Uh-oh. Hello? I don't even know if you're here.
Hey.
Hi. Thanks for calling in. Who is this?
Okay, this is it. I'm Ed. This is
Oh,
Shy.
Hi, Shy. How are you?
I'm okay. I had to shut off the stream.
Yeah,
The boys
yeah.
were wrestling pretty hard.
Mm-hmm. They were wrestling pretty hard? Yeah. Refuge. Oh, you found the stream? Congratulations. You found the spot. Welcome in, welcome in. King Kamal. Oh, just 1 minute, Shy. Yes, India and Pakistan pose a massive risk of nuclear war. Both have enormous nuclear arsenals. The source of the sectarian hatred of South Asia is a colonial partition. Yeah, well, that's why they ended up going their own in the 40s, 47 or something like that. It was partition.
Yeah, they basically broke up because of religious dogma, but yeah, it just seemed like thanks British and France and Dutch, when you decide to just divide the world up according to how you want it to be, look at how much wars we got because of what they did. That's why we got so many problems in Africa, in the Middle East, and also in the Asian Pacific. They decided, well, we're going to divide the world up. So just enough conflict to keep you divided instead of saying, hey, let them figure it out and we'll just chill out.
Right.
So we've been living under those ramifications for a while, And I'm just hoping that we kind of grow up.
All right. So, Shy, I know you were watching Admiral Gibbs' stream yesterday. And so today is kind of a little bit of an extension of that. Yesterday was, should the general public be able to purchase nuclear weapons? And today I'm sort of just adding on to that. Should the government be able to own nuclear weapons, which they do, which is facts. They do own nuclear weapons. I mean, some people are debating which countries own what. But for sure, it is well known that actually, Riggs called in earlier and said we don't even know if anyone owns nuclear weapons. But I would like to say I'm pretty confident that some countries own nuclear weapons in the world. And what do you think about that, Shy? About countries, governments owning nuclear weapons?
Well, like with most things, I wouldn't say a victor goes to spoil mentality, but once that genie was let out, like with most things about knowledge, once it's let out, then those who are able to get it will have it. Those who won't are subject to those who do. But short of, like I said, having a bomber, does that particular nation have the ability to shrink that nuclear weapon down and put it on a deliverable delivery system? And make it actually work. Everyone can say I have a nuke, but can you shrink it down and put it on an ICBM and actually get it to your intended target? To me, that's the biggest issue than necessarily a government having a nuke. Okay, you can have a nuke, but if you can't get it to your enemy, sure, if they're next door, what good is it really? It's
but
like
I'm sure
bullets.
Countries are testing them, though. They're being tested, or they have been tested or something, right?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, that genie's out the bottle. And it's just hopefully those who have a suicidal mentality in order to, quote unquote, have their way, when they get it, then that's a whole nother realm. Because as Oppenheimer might have said or intimated, it's not the fact you have a nuclear weapon, is that once you use it, it's over. You can have a nuclear weapon and you can talk all this up, but once you use it, you're done. There is no coming back. Okay, the real only reason why the United States kind of
came back
had the dominance at the time is that they used it against Japan because Japan hadn't made it yet. But now with all these nations coming about,
but now I see what you're saying. Now people have nukes to fight back with. So if you
Right.
unleash it, people will retaliate.
And then that's it.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, so what? You can destroy the world 10,000 times. You only need to destroy it once.
Mhm.
Everything else is beyond overkill, and that's why the Ukraine war with Russia threatening nuclear war it's basically a bluff. Because once they let it loose, that's it. You're done. You know, and the only one who's probably sitting back wondering is China, because China's far enough away that if Russia and Europe decide to go off themselves, they're so far away. Okay, they won't feel the immediate effects, but eventually it will, like everybody else.
Right. King
You know,
Kamal, thank you for gifting a sub. I appreciate that. Thrasher, that's the thing. You think, right? No one is going to use nukes, though. It's just fear mongering. Well, I think Elon Musk wants to buy a nuke. Now,
No.
do we? Now, I truly believe he wants to buy a nuke for reasons where he, for the energy source of it, right? He's trying to get to the moon. He's trying to build a lot of spacecraft and mass produce that stuff. And so he needs, a nuke. It would really help him in his endeavors. But here's the thing, right? A regular person, well, he's not really regular schmegular. Let's be honest. He's a billionaire. Not a regular person can't afford to buy a nuke. But
Yeah.
you give a billionaire a nuke. You just start handing those things out for whoever can afford them. And what if it gets into the hands of the leader of North Korea, or and they become mentally unstable, or let's say the next Hitler, heaven forbid, comes around. Okay, the next Hitler who wants to take over the world, right?
I think we got plenty of them already.
right. And so, but maybe like it was a solid country before, and then it just gets a bad ruler, a bad leader, and basically that whatever arsenal that country owned gets taken into the wrong hands and starts to get misused, right? That's also a possibility, right? Because leaders are constantly changing, right? So you don't know, like it just becomes a liability. If you own nukes, it's a liability because they might be safe for a short period of time, and then in the future, governments change hands and things happen like that, right?
Yeah,
So,
it's just like children of rich people. Okay, just because you're a child of a rich man doesn't mean that once you get control of your father's fortune that you got sense enough to keep it. It's the same difference,
exactly.
And I think Musk is more about having the ability to use nuclear energy as opposed to an actual bomb. Because what's a bomb going to do for you? A bomb is just going to be destructive. But if you have the privatization of nuclear power, that's something else. And even that, my biggest concern is not the fact that he has the ability to create these small, what they call miniature reactors. Like anything else, it's the waste. How are you going to effectively take care of the waste?
Good point. I think that's a great point.
Look at Russia with Chernobyl. Yeah, they knew it, but they didn't have the same protocols like they do in the States. And fortunately, poor Ukraine is still getting it both ends from Russia.
Right.
So that would be my biggest concern. How are you going to contain the waste? Look at Japan with Fukushima. When the tsunami hit it, they had the same problem. It's what you're going to do with the waste.
Craigon, welcome in, Craigon. Nice to see you. Sorry, just to touch on your point that you mentioned just a minute ago. You were saying, now I forgot what you were saying. You were talking about What were you saying before? You were talking about the disposing of the waste. What was your point before that?
Oh, with Mr. Musk,
Mhm.
I don't think he really.
Oh, yes.
has
That's what.
an
Yeah,
interest
thank
in
you.
the
Yeah, I
bomb.
remember now. So you were talking about. I don't think Mr. Elon Musk, wants it for a weapon. He wants it to use it for, the energy source. I agree with you, Shai. But that's the problem when it comes to nukes, right? You can use them for good, and you can use them for bad, right? Like, so
Yeah.
you give it to somebody who says, that they want to use it for good, and I believe you, but until I don't believe you, until you use it for another reason, right? Until you,
Right.
so you never, when you're dealing with a dangerous weapon, I'd like to, I'm optimistic in that people are inherently good and they're going to use things for good, but there are bad apples in the bunch out there too. So
Yeah.
you give somebody that, and it's a liability at the end of the day for sure.
Yeah, like I said, it's a cleanup, but for fusionable material to be what they call weapons grade, the refining process is very difficult. That's why when Pakistan did it, they had a bunch of what do they call centrifuges, however they do it that way. They had a bunch of them where they had to do it in small increments. While the United States, hey, we know how to do it in one big fat vat, instead of doing it little by little. And that's the scary thing with Iran doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They say Israel even have nukes, but Israel, you don't know anything about Israel and their nukes until you find out. The same thing with those pagers. No one had any idea that Israel had convinced its enemies to take pagers until it happened.
Right.
And I think with Israel with nukes, it's going to be on the same thing. You won't know them; they'll have it until it happens. And see, that's more scary than someone saying, "Hey, I got nukes," because at least that way you know they're there. It's the guys that you don't know nothing about it until you find out. Or as the kids say, "F around and find out."
Yeah, so Frank Cheese is mentioning that Elon's not looking for a bomb. He just wants the access to the nuclear material. Yeah, that's true, Frank, but also, I don't know how to pronounce her name properly, but it's like Dulce Meritus, something like that. I also read that as well, and I saw that article about, I found a story that Elon wants to detonate nuclear bombs on Mars for whatever reason. Yeah, I saw that as well. I don't know how true that is, but basically there is water on Mars, like on the poles. And he said, actually, I did see the interview. I did see it. He said there's a fast way to do this. Like and then there's a slow way to do this, like a right way to do this, or we could do it the fast way. And the fast way would be to detonate nukes on Mars, and that would heat up the poles and melt water, and then create more of an atmosphere and make it more livable conditions on Mars.
No.
Yeah.
See,
And
now Elon sounds like one of those crazy James Bond bad guys at that point. Really, oh my god, that sounds stupidly crazy.
I think there is an atmosphere on Mars, but it's very small. It's not like there is an atmosphere, but it's not as big as Earth. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not to a degree. Now this is wild. And I just saw this the other day that that one of Jupiter's moons, I think is Io, has an atmosphere, and I think Titan on Saturn has an atmosphere. But I've always been curious about, well, how thick is that atmosphere? I mean, the moon has an atmosphere, but how sustainable is it?
Mm-hmm.
Not saying we can go around and walk without helmets there, but still, how can we effectively use it to our benefit if we ever get there?
Right.
In a way. But that's getting off the topic.
Mm-hmm.
That's getting off the topic. But I just wanted to thank you for allowing me to go ahead and speak my piece on this. And the last thing I wanted to say before bowing out for others to speak, is I think I've written it earlier.
I like that you made notes. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know me, my brain cells start screaming things, and I tend to type it out. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I might have said it beforehand. So I'm going to bow out, let somebody else get on. I want to thank you. I love the fact that you were on Gibbs' show. Unfortunately, I caught like the last 20 minutes of it, but still,
Yeah.
I liked it. Like I said, it reminded me of our talks when you do yours in Discord. You know,
Right.
it's interactive. They're always fun.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Thank you, Shai. Thank you for calling in. Thanks for being here, and we will see you in chat.
Okay, bye bye.
Okay, bye. Welcome in, Asselhoff. Should the government own nukes to make Mars inhabitable? That's not really the question. Just own nukes in general. It's facts, at least in my opinion. It's facts that the government own nukes. We've had a couple callers today saying that they can't guarantee that. But I do believe that governments in the world do own nukes. And what I'm saying is, should they even be owning nukes, right? So, the moon does not have an atmosphere; it has an exosphere. That's true. But there's no. Speaking about Mars, there is a way that Elon Musk. I mean, you know, he has plans, right, to bring colonies to Mars, right? So he's trying to. His goal is to make spaceships, and by the year 2050 have like I think 100 ships made, and basically have a colony of like 100,000 people in Mars. And he has a plan. I don't exactly know what it is. Nobody really knows, but his plan is to make Mars inhabitable. At first, yes, we would be having to live, you know, in environment controlled domes, like, you know, the movie what's that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Good movie, whatever it is. But yes. Total Recall, yeah, like Total Recall. It would be like that at first, but I think he has a plan to make Mars more inhabitable. He wants to colonize Mars, right? So, yes. Total Recall, yeah, Photo Guy, great movie. With the 3 boobs? The 3 boob, like that's the best part. Panda! No, not 2 weeks. Total Recall. Good movie. Welcome in, Panda. Panda. All right, guys. I hope you guys are on board with me. It's been an interesting topic today. So, a lot of different takes on the situation, for sure. Kindergarten Cop. Oh, that's a great movie as well. It's not a Tuma. Did that woman have 3 boobs because of the nukes on Mars? No, she was an alien. She was a mutant due to the lack of oxygen. Basically, all of the mutants were kept in this like subpar arrangement. There was a shortage of oxygen, so they didn't have a lot of oxygen, and I think they were mixed as well with some native Martians. But yeah, she was a mutant. So I'm loving these Discord call-in streams. Thank you, Thrasher. Thank you. Feel free to call in if you want to discuss anything, and if you have anything that you would like to say, Thrasher. So, next time we talk about, is these boobs better than 2? I mean, 3 is always better than 2. I mean, but you only have 2 hands. Well, I mean, I guess you could. You know what? I digress, Hasselhoff. Use your imagination. Okay? Use your imagination. Okay. So, they just got the results from the last asteroid. They mined on the fly, and they had all the nucleotides to create DNA. All right, yeah. Okay, doesn't mean it had DNA, but it had potential to create some. All right, let's bring in our next callers. I can't tell who's here. Hold on, let me see something here. Okay, I see who's here. All right. I think there's a hangout happening, so I don't exactly know what's what. But I think we'll bring on Thornhorn, because he actually has his degree in what was it, environmental economics. So I feel like he can talk about nuclear energy and nuclear power and all of that stuff. So Thornhorn, I'm bringing you back. I hope that's okay, Thorn. You might have to mute the stream. 2 boobs and the one holding them? No, 3 boobs. 3 boobs. It was a great movie. Hi, Jay Thunder. Hi, Pfizer. Thornhorn, are you here? Maybe you're not here. I don't know. Total Recall. Yes, Pfizer. See, you knew right away. Great scene. Best scene in the movie, man. I think he might be AFK. All right, never mind. All right. See, now it's going to bother me. I have to put that shit back on, whatever. Anyway, so, exclamation Discord, if you guys want to talk about... Time is it? Okay. Exclamation Discord, jump into the Twitch stream queue. If you would like anything, if you would like to talk about anything. What's going to bother you? I took it off streamer mode, Skiz, so I could read the names, because otherwise it just has the first letter, and I don't know who's who and what's what in there. But now I can hear notifications, like, and you can too. So that's going to bother me to hear that, because I took it off streamer mode. So I don't know how to turn that back on, though, Skiz, frankly. So, is that the only movie with an alien girl with the 3s? Probably, yeah, Pfizer. So we can all say no, but all comes down to the other having nukes or not. Well, I agree, Frank. If we were to eliminate nukes as weapons, everyone would have to do so, right? Because it's like we need an even playing field. So I absolutely agree with that, but then that takes away nuclear energy. Now, someone was mentioning, I'm not sure if Giant Death Robot is here or not, but on Tuesday when we were talking about aliens and we were talking about the moon, there's a natural resource that you can get on the moon that is very rare supply here. Is it hydrogen 3? If I'm not mistaken? And you can use hydrogen 3. It's actually very clean nuclear energy. It's very clean. It doesn't give off radiation. It gives off a very minute amount of radiation. I believe it's hydrogen 3. There's very little H3 here on Earth. Yes. It's tritium, or H3. Yeah, H3. So, if we could get that Giant Death Robot, my question posed to you. Okay, if we could get H3 from the moon, would we need to use nuclear reactors, which is kind of dirty, slightly dirty, right? It gives off radiation, like gives off waste. So if we could get H3 from the moon, could nuclear reactors be obsolete at that point? If we could get better resources from the moon? That's my question to you. Fusion power gives off waste. Yes, but I think H3 doesn't give off the same amount of waste as fusion power. I think H3 is more for fusion power. Nuclear is quite clean anyway. Hi, Slayer Beast, welcome. We need to actually build a working fusion reactor first. Oh, we don't have one for H3? Well, yeah, okay. We need that. The blood guy never went live yet. Yeah, I could bring on blood for sure. Skiz, thanks for pointing that one out. All right, let's bring in our next caller. Let's bring in blood. And see what blood has to say about the matter. Okay, let's bring him in. Greetings and welcome, blood. How are you this evening? Hi, thanks for calling in.
No problem. My number one favorite.
Your number one favorite what?
You're my number one Trish.
Oh, I am your number one favorite? Oh, thank you, Blood. That's very sweet of you to say. Thank you for that.
Of course, you look pretty and gorgeous as usual.
Thank you, Blood. Thank you so much. Pfizer, we'll see you later. Okay,
so what's the topic today?
The topic is nuclear bombs?
Yeah.
Do you think that the government, different governments and different people should have the access to nuclear bombs to potentially hurt other countries and kill large amounts of people?
No.
So
that should be illegal. Like again, like any kind of like any big object should be illegal. Like
Right.
uh
but here's the
like-
dilemma, Blood. Here's the dilemma, okay? These weapons that can be used for bad to kill and exterminate the entire planet if we used all of them. These really bad weapons can also be used for good. Because we can use, nuclear energy to create, good things like clean power sources and whatnot. So now what do we do?
the only way how to use them if you really have to like use them if you have to. For like example, say if somebody like people in Iran or something like that,
Right.
and people over in Iran
Yeah.
having sometimes they get bombed.
Yeah, actually Iran has it. They have nuclear weapons. And that's why the US is very scared of Iran, because they're not pro-US, right? So
Right.
it's a potential threat to the US for sure.
Yep, them should put some kind of wall between the nuclear war.
Oh, I wish we could build a nuclear wall to keep all of the nukes out. That would be great. That would be so
And-
cool if we could do that.
And I think that was it.
Okay. Blood, thank you so much for calling in today. I appreciate you. You love to call in every stream, and you're very sweet. And I hope you have a lovely night, and we'll see you in chat.
You too. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Oh, sorry, my bad. That was me. Sorry. There we go. Optimus Prime, welcome in, Optimus. Okay, that was Blood. So he said his part for the day. Iran is not a threat to the US. The US is simply imperialist by nature. Well, okay, King Kamal. Without getting into politics, because I know you love that type of stuff, King Kamal. That's so weird. That was the radio. I hear some, like, it has to be on the song itself. Anyway, Ken Kamal, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, I mean, the world forms alliances. US is an empire. Correct. Exactly. The world forms alliances, right? And so what I'm getting at is, I don't know, the world has alliances. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. Iranian proxies are a threat. That's their point. Yeah. So, yeah, but regardless, the US is scared. No? Of potentially Iran. That's another good point. Oh, to bring it up, guys. Okay. Back in like the 80s, Iran was so much more liberal, right? When it was a different regime of people. Okay, when it was the Shah, I forget the Shah's name, but there was a Shah, like a king in power in Iran back in like the 70s and the 80s, and then he got overthrown. And this in 79, there you go, late 70s, okay. He was overthrown and he had to leave, otherwise he would be killed. And Ronald Reagan was in the House in the States. I don't know who's in the House in Canada, maybe Trudeau, the first one. Pierre Elliott. But regardless, it was a much more liberal place to live, right? Women didn't have to wear headscarves, they could go to school, but governments change, right? And now Iran is a different place to live in, to say the least, right? And so, but yet, they're still a threat. They could be potentially a threat. You never know, right? So that's what I'm getting at here, guys. Yes, the Shah means king. Yeah. And the US installed him, and he was a dictator. The US overthrew Iran's first democratically elected leader, Mossadegh, when he nationalized Iran's oil. Sure. But it was a different time. Definitely was a different time back then, right? And governments can change. But once you own nukes, doesn't matter. Like, for example, I mean, one might say, if Canada owned nukes, right, Trudeau could have them, and our next prime minister could be very evil, and we. I don't want to get too involved in this shit, frankly. The nukes, yeah, Gibbs, welcome in, Gibbs, man, Gibbs. I'm trying to elaborate on your stream yesterday, Gibbs. So shout out to Admiral Gibbs. Welcome in, first time chatter. Iran is the only holy country, and they need nukes. Oh, you must be. Are you Iranian? So, so on Gibbs' stream yesterday, the topic was, should nukes be available to be sold to the general public for whoever, on the market for whoever can afford them. And we kind of concluded we kind of concluded that that the government, the laughs that we had, yeah, the laughs we had. Anyways, we kind of concluded that the government was the government has nukes, right? And we don't really have any control over that, or do we, right? Should the government even own nukes? Depends on the government, right? Depends. You may trust nukes in the American government's hands, but do you trust them in North Korea's? Do you trust them in Iran's? Do you trust them in Pakistan's? Do you trust them, Russia? Do you trust? Heck, the Cold War. The Cold War went on for so long, right? So nukes should be a civil right, so we can nuke anyone we want. Oh yeah? Exclamation Discord, Dr. Foreskin. Exclamation Discord if you'd like to talk about the matter. Hop into the Twitch stream queue and I will bring you on and you can talk about all of your opinions, Dr. Foreskin 69. All right. I wonder if Thornhorn is back. I'd like to bring Thornhorn back on. 11 o'clock. We have 1 hour left. 1 hour left. We're 2/3 done. So, I would love to share my knowledge. Yeah, exclamation Discord. Hop into the Twitch stream queue. I haven't heard him talk. Oh, he's AFK then. Okay. Thank you, Skiz. So, I need to use the washroom. I will be back. BRB. Look who I found. Wrinkly, you can leave, Wrinkly. Good night. Good night, Wrinkly Beef. Okay? Vegas, come here, sweet boy. Sorry. Oh, it's okay, Thornhorn. No big deal. Good night, Wrinkly. It's time for your bed. Time for you to leave the stream, Wrinkly. Okay. So... what did I miss? What did I miss, Schweedies? Alright. Shell is taking a pee as well, a little pee break. I found a little boy here. I found a little veggie chubby. I get it. The topic can be a little heated tonight. To be honest, it's great talks. Thorn is back. Okay, great. Hi, Modi. Welcome in, Modi. The topic can be a little heated tonight, for sure. To be honest, I'm kind of regretting it. You know what's crazy is, like, Gibbs, we had great talks about this exact this exact topic yesterday in your stream, and everyone was civilized and minded their manners. Well, most people did, and it's just interesting. Very interesting. Interesting situations here tonight. People are very, to be frank, like those debate bros. Yeah, so I mean, I think it's just a different crowd. Some people can handle, having conversations about this, and then I think it's just too much for other people, and they get too heated and they get too worked up. The big red button detonated. Do you know the codes, Modi? Do you know the codes? Okay, you know what? I'm going to change the subject right now. I'm going to do that. I'm going to beat, because you know what? It's my fucking stream, and I'm going to do it. So I'm going to say something right now. There was, I'm not going to name any names. I don't know who the guy is, actually. But there was someone in the stream yesterday. And we have an hour left, so we can get into this. There was someone in the stream yesterday, and, people are saying, hey to me, hey, Ann, hey, whatever, right? Vegas. Oh, he wants to go. Give me 1 second. I want to invent a love bomb. Yeah. So, yesterday someone was saying, people were saying hello to me, right? Because I knew a lot of the viewers in Admiral Gibbs' chat. And then some random new person that I had never seen before said, why do you guys think a low-value woman is hot? Okay. A low-value woman is hot. Now, I was thinking to myself when I read it, oh boy, yeah. I was like, wow, we could really get into, this could be a whole debate on its own, right? Peace, greetings and welcome, Peace. Nice to see you, Peace. Yes. So then I thought to myself, wow. I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What do you constitute a low-value woman to be, right? In your opinion? The new whatever podcast? What, the person? No. Wrinkly, you're on one tonight. I don't even know what you're saying. Low value could mean something different for everyone. Exactly, Skiz. Exactly. So, I mean, maybe in their opinion, a woman who I was wearing a shirt like this, sitting in my stream room, I had my hair done, my makeup done. It looked very similar to how I look tonight. Okay? What constitutes a low value woman in your opinion? right? So, I posed that question to you guys. Chat. He's high value pup. He's very high value shy. Yeah, he is. But I mean, I can't knock the person's opinion because it's an opinion. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe in their eyes, I'm a low value woman because I am putting myself out there for all to see. You know? Who knows? Like, what constitutes a low value woman, in your opinion, chat? Just out of curiosity, I'd like to know. I was like, oh shit. And then that got me thinking because I'm a sensitive bird. I'm very sensitive. So then I saw an Instagram post later on that night that just hit in the spot. Oh, did it disappear? No, it's still here. Good. The Instagram post is, it's not their job to like you. It's yours. And I was like, true. Why do I care what other people think, calling me high value or low value or whatever it is? At the end of the day, it's not their job to like me. It's my job to like me. I shouldn't, as long as I like myself, right? As long as I like myself. Yeah, I don't know who said that, but I get some crazy people in the politics category. I believe it, Gibbs. I absolutely believe it. People in the politics category that might not enjoy seeing a woman sexualizing herself on the internet. You know, I totally get it, Gibbs. And I'm not trying to take away from your channel or anything like that. That's not what I mean. But it just made me think. It really did, because you know, it's like, well, I mean, that's their opinion. I can't even say I'm not a low value woman because, I mean, in their eyes, I might be, right? That's all relative. Low value is in the eye of the beholder, so is beauty, right? So I strive to be mid. Yeah, so Wrinkly, again, I will ask you to go to sleep or just leave the stream tonight, Wrinkly. I think this conversation is really just too much for you right now. I don't know how to politely ask you anymore. I would ask you to please refrain from typing. Please refrain from all of that jazz. I bid you farewell and good night, my good sir. So good night, Wrinkly. Honestly, the way I look at it, the more reactions I get, the better you do, for sure. Yeah, Admiral Gibbs, I absolutely agree with that. Because at least you're creating a stir. Okay? So, creating a stir. All right. So, first time chatter, I'm not sure what you mean. Reactions one way or another. I mean, it gets people thinking and talking. And you're right. You're right, Gibbs. So. Ooh. Wait! Wade, thank you so much for the 5, Wade. All right. Thank you so much for the 5. I appreciate that, Wade. So yeah. Hi, Nadim. Welcome. Thank you. I hope you are as well. All right. Okay, so we've got Riggs and we've got Thornhorn back in the. Let's bring in Thornhorn. Greetings and welcome in, Thornhorn. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you, Anne?
I'm doing well. I'm doing okay, Thorn. So, sorry, I brought you in last time, but you were AFK.
Yeah, I am super sorry about that. I got a family phone call and stuff, so everything's okay. Just had to talk through some stuff.
Yeah, no worries. So, okay, we were talking about, nukes and governments owning nuclear weapons.
Right.
I think it almost became kind of just too hot of a topic to deal with. So then I kind of moved to
a nuclear topic, as it were. Ayo!
It really was. There was some fallout along the way.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So, but yes, yeah, it is what it is. So, yeah, it bomb. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
where
clicking
do you
hard?
want
Oh,
to
my
kind of
bad.
go with it? Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
I am
no.
not on my main mic.
I fixed it. It's all good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So, where did you want to go? What do you want to talk about? This is the Hot and Streamy podcast.
Yes. To be on. Okay, do we have if we got rid of nuclear weapons, okay?
Yeah.
What type of energy could we use instead? Other than, I know you mentioned solar, but another one of the viewers, I think it was Frank Cheese, mentioned, yeah, but if you don't have sun that day, if you don't have batteries, solar energy doesn't work. It is clean energy, I mean, but
Okay, so kind of talking to that specific point, that goes into the concept of transportability of energy and energy sources. Kind of on that. The reason why, your gas power is like such a highly sought after commodity is because it is one of the easiest transportable types of energy sources that produces at a high level that you can kind of get. That was a little bit towards where I was going with the US energy grid as it kind of goes. It is outdated as fuck because we've relied on for so many years oil and gas to kind of shore up those differences in it. So, if you get a grid that is capable of handling the amount of energy we are able to harvest, essentially, then it can store it in external locations and basically like push it to anywhere that you kind of want to go with it. So if Chicago, for example, has a cloudy day or whatever, they could push solar that was from like a year ago to Chicago or whatever. So that kind of goes into the transportability because whereas like kind of today, like it's easy to drive 2,000 gallons of gas from LA to Denver or whatever. Like you could do that in a day. It's really easy to do that. But the energy grid, it can't sustain or can't handle pushing solar energy from a year ago to like any point on that kind of energy grid or whatever. So it really becomes like a conversation on transportability on energy sort of thing with it. So Solar is a great option, and there's been a lot of innovation in that area. Carbon recapturement's been a really great area. That's a good option. You can travel into wind energy, and then that just becomes the same argument for solar of how we're transporting that energy to where it needs to be, when it needs to be, sort of thing.
Right. Skyanna, welcome in, Sky.
Woo, Sky!
Sky was a judge yesterday on Admiral Gibbs' stream with myself. So, Skyanna, thank you for being here. Can we shout out Skyanna, please?
She is
Go
such
give her
a
a follow.
sweetie.
She's a Shveety. She is
Yes.
a regularly. I think she said she games Valorant, and I forget what the other game was. And she loves
She
frogs.
did
Well,
like
I like
Marvel
frogs. Frogs are my fave.
earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. One love, Wade. One love. Hi, Huck. Welcome in. I thought we were going to talk shit about women on this stream. Well, Huck, okay. We were talking the whole
Well, joke's
stream.
on you. We're only going to talk good things about women on this stream. Yeah. No.
Shy, thank you for gifting us sub to Skyanna. Thank you for that. No. Okay, well, here's the thing. The last 2 hours we've been talking about nukes, and so basically, Sky, my stream today is basically a continuation on Admiral Gibbs' stream yesterday, which was basically should the government be able to own nukes, right? So yesterday was should nukes be available for purchase from the general public, and
Right.
mine is should you be able to own nukes by the government, right? But to be honest, Sky, it was it's been getting a little bit rowdy. It was I had to just simmer it down a little bit, Sky. So then I brought up yesterday on Gibbs' stream there was a weird person, not weird, okay, I take it back, maybe he's not weird, listen, maybe he's not weird,
eclectic person. Yeah.
you're entitled to your own opinions, but his opinion was people were saying hi to me in the chat in the beginning of the stream, and then he said, why do you guys think a low value woman is hot, right? And then that kind of brought up so many different points, thinking like, okay, like
What the fuck is with that? Okay, sorry.
well, like, I mean, to each his own, though, right? Like, what constitutes, in your opinion, a low value woman, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Then I kind of changed the subject to that, but now we're back to nukes. So yeah.
Yeah. Just on a point, I don't think that there's any low value humans in general. Everyone is their own unique creation, and they all have their like own points, and you kind of focus on that, saying that someone is just like generalizing someone to that point. That's atrocious. So I'm sorry that you experienced that.
Oh, that's okay. I've seen worse on the internet, but I will say, Thorn, that's a great point, because I think there are low value people out there. Hi, Snaz. Welcome in, Snaz. Nice to see you.
Okay.
I think there are low value people out there. Absolutely. Okay. There are good and there's bad people everywhere, but just to look at someone and generalize them, categorize them as a low value person, just by looking at them for like 5 minutes, not really even talking to them.
Yeah.
That is kind of, now you're just generalizing someone thinking that they're low value solely because of their looks, which I think there's more to it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you can, statistic like analogy here. There are dummy variables. There are quantitative variables that you can kind of go into there, or qualitative values that you can go into. Someone being a plus or a minus, that is a dummy variable, and that is something that is quantifiable. Like, it's a really easy quantifiable thing that you can go into. Qualitatively, like, it's bullshit that like somebody's saying that you're a low value person. saying someone's a bad person, that's something that's easy to kind of discern from your mind's perspective or whatever on that. So
Right.
sorry. Just
Oh,
like frustrated that like somebody like makes that generalization on anyone. That's really fucking annoying. So
well, at the
sorry.
end of the day, true
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
People are entitled to their own opinion, and as long
Yep.
as it doesn't hurt anybody, they can have their opinion. It's a free world out there, right? So I just was wondering, it just got me thinking more than anything. I'm really not hurt because I know I'm pretty confident that I'm a good person and this person doesn't know me. Okay. So they're just talking out of their ass, to be honest. So it didn't hurt me, but it did get me thinking, right? And it got me thinking of, so what constitutes a low value person? You know what I mean? So that got the wheels turning a little bit. I give respect to everyone and I hope for the same until they don't deserve it. Exactly, Wade. So yeah, I'm not hurt, but it did get me thinking of as to, what makes a low, I might bring this topic up on Saturday's stream. Next time I stream, because I think it's a great topic to have. Like, what makes a low value person in your opinion? Because that differs for everybody. Welcome in, Warrior. Internet men, hate a successful, good-looking woman that shows cleavage and is comfortable with herself. It called that low value. Meanwhile, right? They may exactly Thrasher. They may. I mean, I don't know their background. They don't me. I don't know me. I don't know them. But just to go off of appearance alone and call someone low value was a little much, to be honest. So it's a good topic for sure. I think we're going to touch on that maybe on Saturday's stream because it definitely got me thinking, and hopefully it will get the chat thinking as well. Hi Ken Wings and hi Biznot. Yeah,
it's a very interesting topic to kind of go into on.
Yeah.
I think like something else that's like an interesting topic to talk about is just like, is AI good or bad? What are the implications of it? And let people go on like, hey, you know what could we apply AI to?
That's
Just
also a
as
general
topic. That would be like interesting to kind of hear what people's perspectives are on that.
Yes, I think maybe we might talk about that like Tuesday or something like that. Maybe not. I'll save the Saturday streams for something a little more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think AI, that would be a great. We sort of touched upon that today, Thornhorn, and so we could elaborate on that a little bit more because there's.
Loved hearing like what Skiz was like kind of thinking on that like initially, and just like it's crazy. Like it's just like something that there's something huge that happens. What could happen with it? What can we do with it? What are the bad sides? What are the good sides? It's something that's interesting.
Right. So, okay, Thrasher, sounds good. Yeah, so I'll be live Saturday and then after that on Tuesday. I'm not streaming tomorrow, guys. I'm going to miss tomorrow's stream, but I will be back on Saturday at 7 and then Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern. So, Thornhorn, thank you so much for calling in. We have half an hour left and we have 3 callers in the queue. So I'm going to get to them.
Can I say something like real quick?
Of course.
Yeah. So, kind of off of like the first conversation, I have a 3D printer and I've used it for so many good things. Like, my elderly parents, my mom, she has like she's on oxygen constantly, and like her oxygen tube just ends up on the ground all the time because she doesn't have a thing to connect it to. I was able to print a thing that made it so it wasn't on the ground all the time. So like it's just a better part of her life daily sort of thing. So like there's so many cool things you can do with it. That it just kind of goes towards that like Pandora's box thing. But yeah. Anyways, sorry.
I agree, Thornhorn. Thank you for sharing that.
I definitely rabbit holed a lot of things or like pigeonholed some stuff. So I appreciate you hearing me out through this. Thank you.
Hey,
Annie.
anytime, Thornhorn. Thank you. Thanks for calling in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. And Thornhorn is 100% right. Thank you for sharing that info. To limit ourselves from developing technology to use it for, the development of society and the betterment of society, just because there's a few bad apples out there to spoil the bunch, is that right? Right? I don't think that is right. So we shouldn't limit that, but we have to regulate it somehow, right? It was a great call in. Thank you, Thornhorn, for calling in. Hi, Brayden. Good evening. I hope you're well, Brayden. All right. So sweet. I know, Maple. He's a sweetie. He's a sweetie. All right. We have a couple of callers left in queue. I think let's bring in Dr. Foreskin69 and then Riggs and then Coldest Spoon. I believe that's the order that you guys got there. What's Saturday stream? Sky. It's going to be Discord call-ins as well. And I'm not 100% certain, Skyana, but it might be about like what constitutes as a low value person. That could possibly be the topic. I'm not sure, but 100% it will be Discord call-ins. Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, Sky. And then I think AI, we'll make the topic AI on Tuesday. All right. Dr. Foreskin 69 Ken Wings. Don't forget about the 69. He's a certified doctor. We got a doctor in the house. Welcome in, Dr. Foreskin. You're live and on the air.
Hello.
Hi. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you for having me.
So, what brings you into the call today, doctor?
Well, you told me to join the call, so I joined the call.
Oh yes, what were you saying? If type something.
I don't know. I
type something in the chat for really quick for me. Just say hi in the chat really quick. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks. So you were saying Iran is the only holy country and they need nukes.
Yes.
Everyone should have the right to own a nuke. That
Yes.
way we can nuke people. Nukes should be a civil right, so we can nuke anyone we want. Okay.
I don't really think I use those exact words, but that's kind of the point, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So elaborate on that a little bit. Do you think that the government should own nuclear weapons?
Of course the government should own nuclear weapons.
And you think that people should own them as well?
Yes, I think everyone should be able to own 1, 2, maybe 5 nuclear weapons.
Oh, I see. And we could just like turn it into the wild west.
No, I have to disagree with you on that one. The Wild West is not good.
So what would we do with these nuclear weapons then?
Well, there's a lot of cool things you can do with a nuclear weapon. Like so like the US and Russia, they have nuclear weapons.
Right.
And that brings up peace. They don't nuke anyone, So if I had a nuclear weapon and my neighbor had a nuclear weapon, then we wouldn't fight. We wouldn't. If he nuked me, he would nuke himself.
I see, but as it stands right now, I don't think any people like in the public own nuclear weapons, and so no one's nuking themselves already. So what would the point of having a nuke? Like, what benefit would that bring?
I think a few people actually have the nuclear weapons.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's about 10% of Americans have a nuclear weapon.
Interesting. Where did you see those facts, doctor?
Well, I do research online. I use a online website.
Mm-hmm. What website would that be?
Well, I use ChatGPT.
Okay. Okay.
Basically, ChatGPT told me everyone has nuclear weapons and it's okay to have them.
If you don't mind me asking, Doctor, what are you a doctor of?
Well, I think my name is self-explanatory.
Oh, okay. So you're a doctor of foreskin. Mateo, welcome in, Mateo. Nice to see you.
No, that is disgusting. I would never say that.
So then, sorry, what are you a doctor of? I'm so confused.
Dermatology.
Oh, dermatology, Doctor Foreskin 69.
Yeah, oh, you.
That's actually good.
Oh,
That's actually good.
You took that.
I took
Wow.
that the wrong way. That's actually good. That was funny. I like that one. Doctor of circumcision. Mateo! What?
My
Yeah,
name
thank
is
you.
not Mateo.
Oh, well, that's hang tight, Doctor Foreskin.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mateo, thank you for the 5. We have a dermatologist here. Usually, if you're a Doctor Foreskin, you would say you're a dermatologist, so that's why I got a little confuzzled there. But it was funny.
Happens. It happens. I am a doctor for the skin.
Oh, Doctor for the Skin. Wonderful, wonderful. And the 69 was just a nice, is that your favorite number? Like a little added touch on the end?
Yeah, it's every time I play a blackjack, I bet on 69.
Ah, perfect. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so Doctor, thank you for calling in and letting us know about the facts that you've learned on ChatGPT and.
Well, I just wanted to say also one more thing before
Yes.
you delete me off the Discord.
Yes.
So the nuclear weapons are very very good, okay, because the aliens love to come to planet Earth and buy the nuclear weapons, and that gives us business. So if you don't have nuclear weapons, then you're missing out on big business.
Oh, did you learn that on ChatGPT as well? Like, why?
No.
What makes you think that aliens can't get their hands on nuclear weapons on their own? Why do they need to come to Earth for that?
It's a very good question. So the Intergalactic Federation of Alien Species, they don't allow each other to make big weapons. It's not cool for them. It's not nice. So some of them who like don't care about that sort of shit, they come here and they buy our weapons from us.
Quite frankly,
my uncle was in
the
the
best.
U.S. Military, and he
Uh-huh.
told me all about it.
Oh, you had a cousin in the military who told you all about it. That makes sense to me.
My uncle.
Your uncle, sorry, your uncle. Yes. So, alien currency. Hmm.
Yeah. So they like come here, we give them the nukes, and they they'll probe you and give you some cool stuff, like some cool metal.
Hmm. All right. So we talked about aliens on Tuesday. I will probably do another stream about that, but today that's not the topic. So, Doctor, thank you so much for calling in.
Oh, thank you so much. It's very nice to be here.
Okay, nice to have you.
Thank you for listening to my rambles.
Hey, anytime. Anytime, okay, Doctor? Doctor for the Skin.
I just want to do a shout out to my big boy in chat, King Kuima. Have a good one.
Take care. Thank you so much for calling. All right. Anonymous, send in a gift. Thank you, Anon. Thank you so much for that lovely gift. Mateo, it's been a minute. I hope you've been well, Mateo. I hope you've been well, and sometimes you just have to, hit the reset button. I hope 2025 is going to be your year, okay? And you make the best of it, Mateo. So, thank you. All right, let's bring in the next caller, Coldest Spoon. Bestiality, the JBL memes are fire on TikTok. High quality dude right there. So, Huck, is that what you constitute a high quality individual? More to come on that topic. We might talk about that on Saturday. All right. Coldest spoon, silverest of the spoons, may be born with one in their mouth, King Kamal. We will find out. All right, let's bring him on. Greetings and welcome, Coldest Spoon. You are live on the air.
Oh, hello. So, yeah, I saw the question was obviously what makes a low-value woman.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, obviously, I would have to ask you, what do you think makes a low-value woman, just to get sort of a general consensus of what you're trying to get at?
Oh, okay. So, well, just to reiterate and refresh, someone called me a low-value woman on stream yesterday that had seen me for a total of probably 5 minutes. Didn't really, I don't even think I said much. They just looked, they just saw me, and called me low. They're like, oh, why do you think, why do the other chatters think she's a low-value woman is hot, right? She's not hot, she's a low-value woman or something to that extent.
Okay.
So,
So just you want to know what people define as it, and
yes,
all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. In your opinion, what makes a low value person, right?
Well, I think personally, my opinion, obviously, I think that obviously all people have value just inherently by the fact that they fucking exist. But obviously, there's also the fact that I think, in my opinion, obviously, that women, children, and pets and stuff like that are valued just sort of inherently, at least within society, because there's obviously the argument that women give birth and they have value, and then as men, we have to go out and make our value. I would say though that if you're gonna try and say that a woman is low value,
hang tight, Coldest Spoon. Nezo Man with the 9 months. Oh my goodness, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. Nezo, thank you so much for subscribing for 9 months. Mateo, thank you for the 10. Best chicken dance around. Thank you, Mateo. Thank you so much for the 10. Shvidi, let's go. And Nezo, thank you so much for 9 months. And Anonymous, thank you for the throne gift as well. It's a trifecta right there. Thanks for the follow, Astral Buzz Deluxe. Okay. Sorry to cut you off there. Coldest Spoon.
Totally
so
fine.
You're saying
Totally
because women can basically create the human race and give birth, they are high value. What happens to a woman then when they go through menopause and they can no longer procreate?
I was getting to all of that. So I think that obviously everything around this whole high value, low value, what your value as a person is all subjective, and it's all bullshit, because you place your own value on yourself. So obviously if you believe yourself to be low value, then people are probably going to see you as low value, or you're at least going to be perceived outwardly as low value, because obviously whatever you internalize will be externalized. But I think that it's more than just women being able to give birth and women basically being the womb from which humanity is brought forth. I think it's more the fact that women should obviously be, well, obviously all people should be valued inherently. But I think that women should be valued because obviously, yes, they give birth, but it's also the fact that it takes a village to raise a child, pretty much. It's that whole saying, it takes a village. And the thing is that
hang tight. We can't hear you. Yep. Just hold on a second. Loser, thank you for gifting a sub to Tranquil Earth. That's your price, well. And also, loser, thank you for bringing a hype train into the station. We got a level 4, baby. Thank you for that gifted sub. Tranquil Earth, you lucky ducky. Thank you for that, guys. Thanks for the level 4, everybody who jumped on the train. Sorry to cut you off. Go on, Golden Spoon.
No, it's fine. It's fine. These things happen on Twitch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that obviously the whole caregiving, the obviously child rearing, but also in old age, women can give fucking, and even when they're younger, if they've had the sort of life experiences that they can have, women can give. I've found, at least in my life, that the women in my life have given me some of the best advice that I've ever received. And honestly, the fact that if we're talking in the traditional sense of low value, obviously, a person getting on the internet showing skin, that's not traditionally high value, but we don't live in fucking old times. We're not in those times anymore. It's current day, right? It shouldn't matter how you express yourself, right? I think that obviously women are just valued inherently, and I think obviously all people should be. But as I said, the child rearing, the advice they can give you, the fact that even in their old age, and especially when it comes to young women growing up, the older women can absolutely help them in ways that just people can't even begin to imagine. Right. So as a society, we should obviously be putting a lot more emphasis on the fact that women should be seen as valued regardless of sort of their personal journeys.
For sure, they have a lot more, knowledge and experience that they can pass on to the younger generation.
Well, yeah, and that's obviously not to say that men don't have that, because men absolutely do. It's just that obviously, at the end of the day, women give birth to both men and women. So there's at least some fucking high level of inherent value in that. Because, there's the whole thing of, obviously, there's the whole thing of all these people on the internet saying, oh, these women aren't high value because they say shit like, oh, we don't need men and all that. Which, yes, that is a fucking stupid opinion to have, because obviously men need women and women need men. Mm-hmm. But then you have to have the argument of, well, hang on, if it wasn't for those men who built society, if it wasn't for those men's mothers, they wouldn't be here. So it all sort of goes back to, the fact that obviously women can childbear and all that sort of stuff, and raising the children, and in old age giving advice. I just personally think that this whole idea of a low value woman is just completely, if I may use probably a banned term on Twitch, fucking retarded. It is just so backwards in its in just its entirety as a concept.
Right. So but okay, whether or not they're a female or not, what makes a high value person, Silver Spoon, in your opinion?
High value person, Jesus. Well, as I've said, people as a whole obviously have inherent value by the fact that they can, I guess in the modern sense, well, even in the traditional sense more so, it is what you can provide to another person, or to in the modern sense, it's what you can provide to a business determines your value to them, which is obviously then that obviously then is the basis of how much you would get paid. I think, obviously, as I've said, how you value yourself is how other people are going to value you. So if you believe yourself to be a high value individual, right? So you believe yourself to be a hard worker, You're definitely worth the time that you put into whatever you're doing. You have long-term goals. Pretty much just the standard for what a person is. Then I don't think you should be getting called a low-value individual, right? If you're doing what a person should do, then there's no reason for you to ever be fucking called a low-value individual, right? So I think that obviously it goes back to what you internalize, because that then becomes externalized. But at the end of the day, what other people fucking say about you doesn't mean shit, right? It's just fucking words,
Right.
right?
As long as you're happy and confident in yourself.
Yeah.
Loser,
as
thank you so much for the gifted to 6 string. Yeah.
As long as you're happy, confident, and obviously you're living by your own means, sort of thing. So however you want to live is however you live, sort of thing. As long as you're happy and confident in what you're doing and how you're living, then I don't think anyone. I mean, obviously, opinions at the end of the day are very much like assholes. Everyone has one, and most of them spew shit.
Right.
So pretty much fuck what anyone says about you. If you believe yourself to be, confident, happy, all that shit, fuck them, right? A criminal can be confident. Yeah, they can be confident, right? But that then goes into the argument of what's legal and what's moral. But that's a completely different.
It's a whole nother ball of wax, for sure.
That's a whole nother fucking 6-hour conversation that I do not want.
I mean, we can have that on another stream, though. 100%. Coldest spoon.
Yeah.
One last. Okay, so just I'm going to bring in another caller momentarily, but if you want to just wrap up your thoughts.
Yeah. Well, as I've just said, as long as you are happy, confident. Someone just said, as long as I'm right with God and I do what I know is righteous, there's nothing that. Yeah, exactly. As long as you're happy, confident, and you do what you believe is right, because obviously what you believe to be right and what is legally right are two very different things a lot of the fucking time. As long as you do those things, I don't think that anyone should be saying that you're a low-value individual. But even if they want to, it's their fucking opinion. Fuck them.
Right. Good point. Good. You made great points tonight. Coldest spoon. So thank you for calling in. Anytime. We'll see you later. See you in stream.
See ya.
In the chat. Have a good night. All right. That was coldest spoon. I think a low-value woman is only from the judger's perspective, man-made, and only to feed their ego. Oh, Gertie, I think we're going to get into this low-value woman talk on Saturday stream. We were talking nukes today, Gertie, but it kind of got out of hand. There was a lot of fallout. There was nuclear fallout. And we have one more caller in the chat, and so let's bring in Peace-diality. Peace was there last night in Admiral Gibbs' stream. So I'm wondering what insight they have to bring to the call tonight. So it got nuclear, as you could say. Exactly. You got my sense of humor, Thornhorn. It was evidence of. Okay, we're leaving this behind. Okay, we're burying it. We're burying it. Like, that's okay. We could go on forever with this. Anyways, all right. Peace-diality. Peace, welcome in. I love your entrance.
Thank you.
I love that. Peace. Greetings and welcome in. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to mute the stream real quick. Go
great entrance. It is a great entrance. He does that in his own, Gertie. It's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's perfect. So, Peace. What brings you into the call today?
Well, you mentioned the stream last night.
Mm-hmm.
Just one thing. I wanted to put private people shouldn't have nukes. I think it's ridiculous for private citizens to have nukes. Nuclear energy, I think, should be subsidized by the government. like government contracts with Boeing and everything, with military and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think private people should own nukes. It's a little bit ridiculous.
Hang tight. Just hold your thought. Loser, thank you for gifting a sub to I Am the Cum Man. Thank you, Loser.
Let's go.
That's your prize. Well, all right, peace. So, yes, that's kind of what we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah.
And today, what do you think about governments owning nuclear weapons?
I think that they should, because I personally experienced the amount of care that I can only speak from the U.S. government's perspective,
right?
But I can speak from the U.S. government's perspective for how they come across nuclear warfare and how they take care of nukes. It is like the amount of checks and balances to do it is like, if you think bureaucracy in, let's say, trying to set a national forest for land development, I think the bureaucracy for that would be difficult. The bureaucracy for getting even exercises with nukes, because we practice with nukes a lot. So, and that was how we, practice to use them. And our unit, we practice, man. It was like weeks of 12-hour shifts where you did nothing but work on these and practice how to use them, load them properly, and then what we were allowed to do, what we weren't allowed to do. The notification system for our aircraft, because they were nuclear capable, were constantly reported to the president and the Department of Defense. We literally had to say, hey, we're moving an aircraft, 50 feet in this direction. We have to call the president and let him know that they're moving, so the president can let the global leaders. It's called the New START Treaty, START. It's a treaty between America and Russia. And it's how we communicate where our nukes are. And so, because I've been able to experience the responsibility and the weight that's put on these nukes, having worked on them firsthand, I know that although our leader, whoever our leader may be, whether or not your opinions of them they are, our leader has to go through a lot of hoops to be able to utilize them, and they're a very real thing, man. I changed a GPS amplifier and laid on top of a nuke while I was doing it, and it gets super surreal. We had a section of people that, if we ever got into a situation where we had to launch nukes, they would call these people and say, hey, you guys get to go in a bunker, and the rest of you have to load the nukes and send the plane off, and then you just wait for the enemy nukes to hit you. And you could receive that call at any time. So it's a very... I want to chat and you guys to know that at least the U.S. takes its nuclear arsenal very seriously. And it's when you work around the atmosphere of nukes, you tend not to joke around about it, because every time you get a call from work, your heart sinks, but instead it's because you forgot to fill out a piece of paperwork and they want you to come in because you forgot to put a number 1 on one of your documents. So yeah.
So it's very interesting that you have worked with them. Literally, You've been on top of one, which must have been such a surreal feeling.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I'm sure there's a lot of care that goes into handling them properly.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
What if the commander-in-chief sends that order? You have to follow through, right?
So It depends, because yes, the commander-in-chief can send it through, but he's not the only individual who has control. At least in the United States, he's not the only individual who has control over that that process. And then also, at least in where I have worked, I can't speak for where others have worked, but where I have worked, they strongly encourage all of the members, the pilots, and everything like that to think on your own, to think for yourself. So it's not discouraged to question things. When it comes down to it, yes, rank is, hey man, you got to send that thing. This is, you know what I mean? Here's your proof from the Secretary of Defense, the President, and 3 other members saying you actually this has to go down. You know what I mean? You have to perform this operation. This is a real world event. And we practice checks and balances constantly, at least my unit did, for that type of thing. But at least in the U.S. military, a lot of things people don't realize is that the military has, it's unlike Russia's military, where if I were to compare the two, I would say that it's a top down. At least what the media has told me, it seems like a top down order structure where orders come from the top and then the bottom man executes it. Whereas in the U.S. military, we're all encouraged to think for ourselves. This allows us to be effective maintainers and fix the aircraft. Because let's say I'm a low-ranking airman, and I tell my sergeant, hey, this might be a way we could fix this jet. He'll go, okay, all right, we'll try it your way. Instead of just, no, it's my way, and we're going to do it my way. You know what I mean? So, but there's instances of people utilizing the example that I've talked about, like in the what am I thinking of? It was a missile crisis. Was it Puerto Rico? For the U.S., it was Cuban Missile Crisis, and the Cuban Missile Crisis. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry to cut you off, Peace. Finish your thought. Chat. Peace is posing a question. Was it the Cuban Missile Crisis, or? But
it was.
Mateo,
it was the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Oh, okay. Mateo asks you, Peace. I know you mentioned it before, because you work for the you work in the Air Force. What aircraft do you work on?
I work on the Spooky Bookie aircraft. Yeah, I'm not. I've said it before, but I think I was a little too buzzed, and you know.
Oh, you're not really at liberty to say.
Well, I can say I just, you know what I mean. I work on the Spooky Bookies, so just kind of, yeah,
the high tech stuff. Okay, Peace. I want to know something. So you know how I think it was Skiz earlier that was saying that we probably have technology that's even far more advanced and like deadly than nukes, like laser technology and this and that. I know you may have not have seen that per se, but in terms of aircraft, do we have aircraft that like people just don't know like what technology we have out there, or what? Like you don't have to say what it is, but just like is there top secret technology in aircraft and whatnot that you know the general public just doesn't know about, that's not disclosed?
Let's just say that I've had the privilege to work at the test base for the Air Force, and I love airplanes, and I have seen some very cool airplanes. Does that answer your question?
Did you need to get trained on it though, like for this technology that, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like what type of, how do you fix something if you don't even know how it works, is what I'm getting at.
Well, I mean, so the F-35 is so freaking advanced that the dang thing so it's hooked up to a network, and the network will call in, let's say a part fails mid-flight. The F-35 will say, hey, this part on my aircraft is failed. And then it'll put in, it used to be able to do this automatically. It doesn't do it anymore, but it used to be able to order a part automatically, and then it would be ready for pickup for the guys on the ground before they even landed. So they would land, the crew would go, oh, these parts are bad, and then they would come out and they'd fix they'd change out the part, and then the aircraft could fly again. The problem with that one was, I heard this, now this is a hearsay story, but apparently the F-35, one of the F-35s called itself, like, the entire aircraft bad, and then it put an order for a brand new F-35 before it even landed. So that was pretty funny.
Oh, that's AI for sure.
That's AI.
Sorry, Retro. Greetings. What's up, Retro?
Oh, not too much right now. Just been listening to all this.
Oh, nice, Retro.
I think really what it comes down to is, anyone who says that a woman is like a low-value woman has no right to say that in the first place. Because who are they to judge?
True. I mean, I didn't take it very personally, because this person didn't know me, right? They saw me for 2 minutes. So, don't worry, my feelings aren't hurt or anything, Retro, but it does bring up the conversation of, what makes a low value person in your opinion. But that's something, Retro, that I think we're going to touch on Saturday's stream.
Okay, yeah, because there's a lot of people I've run into, men and women alike, who have a very low opinion of themselves, and you can't necessarily make that person to be a high value woman, but a woman or man, but you can give them the amount of respect that you feel they deserve to help foster that. What my point is.
Okay, cool, Retro. Do you mind if we talk about this a little bit later? I was talking to Bestiality about the Air Force and stuff like that. We're just talking about something else just now.
Okay.
So thanks, Retro.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Ann.
Take care. Sorry, Peace. Sorry about that.
No worries.
So,
yeah.
Peace.
So
let's take 5-10 minutes and finish our thoughts, and then we'll head out from there. Okay. We'll wrap it up a little bit.
Sounds good to me.
It's been a night. It's been a night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, sorry. You were talking about the AI that you had with this the F-35 bomber. It knew that it was damaged, and it ordered a new parts or a new something before it even landed, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It was really cool. I've been gifted to be able to work around these things for sure. But yeah, for the nukes thing, I think because the government takes so much care and time and effort, and how real it gets, it kind of I don't know. I do trust the government enough because I've worked around people who work directly with nukes, so enough is good enough for government work as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I would love to hear his perspective on the topic and light touch on different aspects. Super interesting. Yes.
The if I may,
yes.
The low value woman comment, I was thinking about the opposite of that. So I was thinking, what would be a low value man for me? Because I don't think it's fair to, judge one without determining the other. And maybe it's because I was raised with a little bit more, and I don't like to enforce these on people. They're just my personal beliefs. But I was raised with a little bit more traditionalist values. I think that a low value man is a man who cannot provide for his family. I think it is a man who mooches off of society. And I think it is a man who confidence issues are something that kind of reside within every man. But I think that a man who does not realize the value within himself and what he provides to society, because that's all we're doing. You know, we exist in a modern society, so all we do is contribute to something and then hope that we can achieve something in our lives. And I think those two things that I said to start were my definition of a low value man. And I would accept. I would say that the same is to be said for a low value woman. Is, you know, each individual may provide for their family in different ways, if they choose to have a family, of course, or, you know, maybe providing for the family that raised them if you're in a situation where that is applicable. But I would say
I think that's a great point. And Dolce asks, so disabled men are low value? And I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, Peace, but in my opinion, you can contribute to society. You don't have to go out and work 40 hours a week to do that. You can be a productive member and contribute in a positive way to society, even if you're disabled. I mean, it all depends on what level we're talking here of disability. I mean, as long as you have cognitive function, okay, and you will have some accessibility around, okay. Like, I mean, if you're a vegetable, you know, it is what it is. But yes, you don't have to be a millionaire, but I think you can contribute to society in a positive way, and there's so many different ways to do that. So
I absolutely agree with you. One thing I will say is I do believe it is the duty of the young to take care of the old. And I feel like our society, as a race, we have evolved enough to be afforded several privileges. You know, some of them are on the, you know, ridiculous end, but I would say that one of the privileges that the human race has been able to, that should be a goal for us to afford, is to be able to take care of the less fortunate. And that's the way that a valuable man or a valuable woman can contribute to society, is by assisting, you know, others who cannot help themselves in a certain way.
Right. Yeah,
no,
I agree with you, Peace, for sure. But we will touch upon what makes a low value man, woman, person, I think, Saturday. I think that'll be a great topic to talk about on Saturday. But we planted the seed, so to speak. And yeah, it's a great topic to get into. I can already tell there's some nibblers, there's some biters. So I already know it's going to be a great topic to have. So, Peace, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your insight with us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the time.
Anytime, Peace, anytime. We'll see you in chat.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Sky likes to sow her royal oats, so to speak. A couple nibbles, Gertie, a couple biters. We got some biters. We tested the waters there. I'm nibbling, exactly. Nibbling on a cheese string, 6-string. All right, guys. Oh, wowzers. Look at the time. Look at the time, guys. We have to go. It's been a great over 3-hour stream. We brought up a lot of topics today, but you know, all good things must come to an end. So thank you, everyone. I hate to go, but don't worry, I shall return. I'm skipping tomorrow's stream, so I won't be live tomorrow. Catch me Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Preserved. Yes, I must preserve. So Saturday, 7 p.m. I'm thinking the topic will have something to do with being a low value woman, man, person in general, and what constitutes a high value person, man, in general, or a person in general. So yeah, I think that would be a great topic to have. Thank you so much for all of the follows today. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the bits. Thank you, everybody. Guys, it was a tough one at times, but definitely I think the stream got us thinking. So we'll be here for a while. See you sometime next year. Next year! Wow, Coldest Spoon. That's like 12 months from now. All right, take care. I wish you well, Coldest Spoon. All right. So, we got through it. We did. We got through it. So, yeah. We'll see you guys Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Good night, Saturn. Good night, Sky. Good night, Coldest Spoon. Good night, Royal. Good night, Maple. Night, Retro. Nice peace. Good night, Gertie. Good night, Six String. Good night, Beckett, King Kamal, Riggs, Nezoman.